You were listening to the pilot episode of Hard Reads, a podcast dedicated to all the hottest topics revolving around the fighting game community. For the first episode, we talk about the Guilty Gear 2020 demo announcement for Arc Revo 2019 and which characters that everyone on the show would like to see fill the final 2 slots for that demo. We talk about the latest reveal trailer for Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, revealing the characters Zeta and Vasaraga. And probably the biggest piece of fighting game news to come out is Riot Games announcing their new fighting game, codenamed Project L. We also give a brief background of the current games that we're playing and the mains that we play. So, full disclosure before this episode starts. The mic that I'm currently using was not defaulted to the program that we used to record. It actually defaulted to my webcam mic, so I do apologize in advance if there's any major background noise. I went back over the entire thing. I didn't see there was a lot of background noise, but again, I do apologize for that. Other than that, guys, I appreciate you as well as the other guys for listening to the podcast. We hope you enjoy. Let's burst right in. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first episode of the Hard Reads podcast, bringing you all of the hottest news and topics regarding the fighting game community. Now, got 5 of my closest friends.
First try.
First try. I got 5 of my closest friends who all met at work. Jalen, how you doing, man?
I'm alive. I'm here. Glad to be here.
Glad to be here.
Got a text message from my dad earlier saying I got to crush it in this podcast, so no pressure.
Did you really?
Well, actually, it was like last weekend we were supposed to do it.
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring that up. It was like shout outs to my dad for supporting me.
It's on his bucket list.
Yeah.
That's good. Little bro, like in Kronk's new group, that thumbs up from Poppy?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was when I was asking for the folding chair. I asked him, he's like, what you need a folding chair for? And I was like, oh, getting together with some homies to do a fighting game podcast. Pretty sure you wouldn't be interested in listening to it if that's what I'm doing. My dad was like, oh, you doing a podcast? Hell yeah, fuck that shit up, dude.
For sure. Good to see the dad supporting.
Dad support.
I hope he listens
Shout
to it.
outs
I
to
gotta
dads.
watch my mouth.
Shout outs.
Shout outs to the dads there.
Miss you, Dad.
Yep. Holy shit. Alright, next to Jalen, Ian.
Hello.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here too, my friends. I don't normally do speaking often, so this is new. But I'm having a great time.
Oh,
But bro, if you want to speak to anybody, you can speak to me anytime.
Hell yeah.
I mean,
I appreciate that.
Currently in between jobs, so I got a lot of free time.
Yes. I'm speaking to the unwashed masses right now, and you guys. But I'm happy to be here.
Good. Next, Charlie. How you doing, bud?
Doing well. I'm also happy to be here. I'm still getting this talking thing down as well.
It's hard. It's rough.
I think you're pretty good at talking, Charlie.
I appreciate that. Yeah. I'm very excited to get down in the dirty FGC news.
Yeah, of course. And next, Charlie got Elijah. Elijah, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm here.
Here.
I didn't have a better answer. I was trying to think of a better answer, but it's cool. I talk a lot. Well, not to people. Myself, but yeah.
As long as you're not responding to yourself.
Well, look, the key is to don't respond to yourself in public.
Yeah.
There you go. See,
True.
that's how I teach.
I mean,
That's why there's a bunch of us.
As somebody who lives by himself, I gotta carry the conversation. There is no choice.
That's another podcast you could start.
But the Lonely
Talking to
Boy
myself.
podcast. Oh,
Lonely
yeah.
Boy Podcast.
The LP podcast.
when you start hitting it hard through the podcast, and you start realizing, it is only me. It turns on Marvin's room. Here's Drake in the background.
Jesus. And this is our host Brandon.
Yep.
Brandon, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. went to a Taco Bell earlier, got me a Baja Blast.
Woo! That's the reason to go to Taco Bell. I feel like.
Absolutely. They also brought back the double XL nacho box too.
Oh, did they?
Yes, they did. So I got me a nice
Taco Bell?
shredded chicken nacho box. Did not win the Xbox One X giveaway that they were doing.
Next time.
Unfortunate.
So now you're never gonna go to Taco Bell ever again.
No,
Well, I mean,
that's
until-
incorrect.
Until they decide to put Baja Blast at the grocery store again, then he still
That's
has
true.
reasons to
Yeah,
buy it.
true. But I don't know. I feel like Baja Blast is better out of the fountain than the bottle.
You are absolutely
yeah.
right.
That's
Absolutely
Okay.
right.
I don't know why,
Feels
but like
authentic.
after I bought like the cans of it, and when I was drinking it, I don't know why it didn't feel the same.
It
felt
does.
weird.
Special. It's
I
not
felt
special.
weird.
I
I
feel
did
like that's
something.
I feel like that's intentional though. I feel like Taco Bell probably worked out a deal with like, all right, if you release this to the stores, you have to make it not as good, so that we still have people coming back to
Less
Taco
sugar.
Bell.
We just tinfoiled hats Baja Blast.
Dude, I am so glad that I am not the only person who noticed
Yeah.
this.
No, definitely.
It's like I'm happy. I'm not crazy.
Yeah. No, Baja Blast out of the fountain is so much better.
Yes.
Yes,
Confirmed.
it is.
Yes, confirmed by
Confirmed.
5 sources here.
Right here on Hard Reads.
With that being said, nothing beats the convenience of having Baja Blast inside your house when you don't want to put on pants.
That's true.
Nothing beats that. convenience.
Not to mention, I'd like to point out, before we get away from the Baja Blast topic, I'd like to point out that, I don't know if you guys remember that Mountain Dew had that contest to see
Oh
who would
yeah.
win, like either Pitch Black or Baja Blast.
I was like,
I'm
what
pretty
the
sure-
fuck?
I'm pretty sure Pitch Black won, and we haven't seen Pitch Black anywhere.
Really?
I only know that
We
because I live
confirmed
with
this?
people that love Pitch Black, and they're like, it won. Where is this drink? I'm like,
I don't think you.
Well, did it really?
First
win?
off, I already thought it was one-sided because it's Baja Blast. Come on.
oh yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
But my roommates, I'm pretty sure I heard that Pitch Black had won, and I just haven't seen anything on it. I don't care. 'Cause I still get my Baja Blast fill, but my roommates were like, "What happened?"
What happened?
This is the Smash ballot all over again. When like Bayonetta was announced to win, and everybody was like, "Where? Who voted for this character?"
Was it May 1st? Pitch Black was discontinued.
Oh,
As of May 1st in 2019, in a Reddit post.
In a
In a
Reddit.
Reddit post.
Imagine.
Reddit with the confirmed.
Oh my god.
Well, that's what it gets for not being Baja
Well, that's
Blast.
Pitch Black.
Fair enough.
And we're also missing one person tonight, Isaiah. He's going through some personal stuff right now, so hopefully he'll be with us on the next episode.
Yeah.
All I have to say in honor of Isaiah, this goes out to you. Bah.
Bah! Boom, bam, bah. Now, before we get into like an in-depth introduction with everyone here, I want to go over some hot news topics that recently came out.
Oh, starting with the news first.
Yep, starting with the news.
Breaking news.
So, at C Major last weekend, they showed gameplay for Axel Lowe for Guilty Gear 2020,
Hell yeah.
along with 2 mystery characters that are going to be at the Arc Revo North
Oh.
American Tour demo.
And they'll also be showing off in their stream, I believe. Or at least there's another announcement happening on their stream on November 3rd. They're having a simultaneous stream with in Japan and out here in the States. For us, it'll be at the 3rd at, I think it's 6 p.m. In Japan, it's the 4th on whatever time. But we don't live in Japan. So,
That's true. That is indeed true.
it is Pacific time too, so if anybody who's listening lives on the East Coast or Central Time, it's not 6 o'clock for y'all. It's 6 o'clock for us people on the West Coast.
Yeah.
West Coast, West Coast.
So, with the vacant slots for the 2 extra characters going to be in this demo, what characters do you guys want to see?
Who's going first?
I don't know. You guys want to like rock?
I mean,
paper,
Well, I
You-
first want to
I
ask
mean-
I was gonna say, I first want to ask the question is, who do we? I mean, I haven't looked it up. Who do we know that's already going to be confirmed for the demo?
Yeah.
it is Sol, Kai, May, and Axel Lowe.
Okay, that's
So
that makes
we got
no
May.
sense.
Yeah.
Everybody who's been announced except for the black guy. So that's my one.
Right?
That's the one
Okay.
character who I've been wanting to see since he's been.
See,
announced.
I want to see more of him too because we just saw him at the end of the Evo teaser,
Yeah.
and there's just been nothing.
He doesn't even
Okay.
have a name.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
don't even know his name.
It looks so cool. We don't know.
Yeah,
anything
exactly.
about it. It's like a Leroy announcement, but without you knowing his name was Leroy Smith.
Yeah, how
It's
was
just like
how was
it's like that's
T-Pain-
intended to be
And
the
I
same
like
thing.
how at the end of, oh my god, what was the event after? Shit, it was Tekken and then something else right after. I don't think it was Smash. It was something else. But then everyone in the fucking Twitch chat is like, "Is that Leroy Smith?" When they asked the Guilty Gear character.
Every time.
Oh, dude, Twitch chat is too good.
Twitch chat's fantastic.
Yeah, how is T-Pain gonna cosplay the new Guilty Gear character?
Yeah.
If we don't even have a name for it.
Right.
Right? That is the real concern here.
Oh no.
So along with the new black guy, I would like to see. I'd like to see either. I don't know, because I like playing him. I'd like to see either Johnny or Elfelt be announced.
Alpha is not coming back.
You don't think so?
I don't think she's coming back.
What?
I would go as far as to say I don't think any of the newcomers from Exert are coming back except for Sin.
Okay.
Is Bedman new? That's
Yeah.
what I want to come back. I want Bedman to
That man,
be good.
that man got fucking roasted.
I want him to be good.
Have you
Revelator.
played through any of the story mode in
No,
Exert?
I
Because
did not.
they're gonna have to let's say pull some strings to bring them back into the
Good me.
frame. Guilty Gear is one of those games where when a character dies, they don't come back
Okay.
unless like they feel like bringing them back. Because from the first Guilty Gear, Justice and Cliff pieced the fuck out, and they haven't been seen until certain versions of X2.
Mm.
And when they were included in the certain versions of X2, they would have like non-canon stories, or like their stories would take place during the events of the first Guilty Gear game, and like they don't advance further than that because they're dead.
All right.
Interesting. Good, but
So no dead.
Elfelt
So
didn't
no
fucking
dead
die, though.
characters.
I mean,
Elfelt.
look, listen.
She
I
just
was
got
gonna
married.
say-
Spoilers.
She just got married, dude.
Look,
Is she married? I don't think
Guess
she is.
guess
on her
who
way.
else did?
She's
Guess who
trying. Her
hasn't
fucking
died?
artist. Trying her artist.
Testament hasn't died. Bridget hasn't died. Angie Mino hasn't died. None of those characters are in
Bowser.
Exert. You don't have to die to just not be present. You
Yeah.
can still be alive, and
Yeah.
you just don't feel like fighting Soul Bad Guy again.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, he's still out there. He ain't dead yet. Yeah, I'm gonna just stay home.
You guys got this one.
You guys
I'm
are
pretty sure they.
I'm still fighting out there. Couldn't be me.
I'm pretty sure they all saw that Evo announcement trailer and saw a low profile Kai's Greed Seaver with 2D and was like, yeah, I'm not dealing with that shit.
Absolutely miss me.
Charlie, do you have any people that you want to see return for Guilty Gear 2020 for the demo specifically?
Oh, I just
wait,
named.
the demo?
I
Yeah.
I wasn't sure we were going down the line. Or...
Yeah, I just
I
named one
hate-
character.
So you got another one?
Of course I do. I want to see my girl Jam back.
Okay, yeah.
I want to see, like, if we don't get
Jam
the black guy by the time the demo rolls around, and they still want to keep him an absolute mystery, and he's not one of the 2 character slots, then for the 2 character slots I would like to see is Jam and Eno. I just want my mains to be confirmed super early, so I don't have anything to worry about.
Okay.
That's it. I play him in Exert, and I love them both, and I just want to play him again. I don't want to go to another Guilty Gear game and not have a main. Because when Sign first came out, Jam wasn't in it. And this was before I decided to pick up Eno, because Eno was hard in X2. And I was like, yo, my fingers can't do this, not I'm bad. Miss me with that. But Exert rolls around, and when Sign came out, first I played May. And May was alright for a little while until I got consistently bodied by Amelia players, and it was like, I don't like this matchup. So I want to go and I want to pick up another character where I don't have to worry about half the bullshit that Amelia does. And I was trying to find other characters throughout the roster, and I ended up playing Eno, and I had a lot of fun with her. And she just stuck, and I just dropped May hardcore.
So
Then Revelator comes out, Jam comes back, and I'm just like, well, now I can actually finally start playing Guilty Gear now.
Okay.
And so I'm not trying to do that again with this new Guilty Gear game. I mean, May is back, so maybe I'll pick her up again
I'm
if
happy
Eno
that
or
May's
Jam
in.
don't come back.
that's
Yeah.
the one that's one of the few I wanted. It's May. Who'd you play?
In Guilty Gear?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm poster boy central when it comes to anime
Yeah.
fighters. So
Yeah, we're aware.
I mean, obviously I play Soul, so luckily I don't have to worry about that coin toss.
That's good.
Shout out to
He's
Injustice and
guaranteed to
Batman.
be in
This
Jam.
guy. Oh my god.
But no, as far as characters I want to see in the demo, I mean, because I'm trying to think, I want to see that new character that they like teased at Evo, but I'm also trying to remember how they went about it with Ramlethal for Sign. I don't know if she was in the demo or not. I can't remember if anyone here played the Sign demo.
No, I've only played the Rev and the Rev 2 one.
Okay.
Everybody, I believe, was in the Sign demo, if I remember correctly. This is like a long time ago, because Sign came out
Yeah, it
a
was
long
like
time.
4 years ago, I think now.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure Ram was there, and if she wasn't, no, she was there, because I believe when the actual game came out and you went through story mode, you unlocked Sin. And like Ram was part of the base roster along with Bedman.
Yeah, well, I'm also just thinking about in terms of like the demo and who they would actually let out to the public for the demo. But outside of that, I would my base 2 would be I want to see Leo and to actually add to Jalen's point and his pain, Milia. Milia and Leo are my 2 because I also picked up Milia a little bit after I decided I should stop playing just Soul. And once I learned how to properly air dash cancel Milia's dust attack, that was the most fun I've had in a very long time. Especially into her corner loops. At least, I mean, I doubt she has the same loops in Revelator 2, but like the dust attack into the little helicopter into the setup of the ring, which either goes for like the low car or the overhead kick. One of the most fun characters I've played in a long time. So Leo and Milia are my 2 picks.
I wouldn't mind seeing Leo make a return too. I like his character.
Leo's a dope character.
Yeah,
Leo
he looks sick.
If I had to choose another Exert new guy who rolled around who I feel like has a good possibility coming back, I think Leo would be like the second.
Yeah. I could agree with that.
If only purely from like his playstyle, because there's not a whole lot of characters in Guilty Gear who play like him. And like if they want to bring back anybody's playstyle, I feel like his would definitely work. Especially since this game is supposed to be like a restructure of Guilty Gear. It's supposed to be a little bit more simplified. And Leo's gameplay already isn't that complicated to begin with. Like out of all of the newcomers in Exert, he's like one of the least gimmicky ones.
I can't think of any characters that play like him in most anime fighters to date.
Yeah, because he's
remembering
like,
what I played of Leo, he's like a very unique type of character.
Yeah,
If I had
he has
to
different
say-
stances, right?
Yeah.
if I had to say there was somebody similar to him, but not quite, it would honestly be Kagura from BlazBlue, because he's a
Oh,
charged
I can
character
see
with
that.
stances.
I can see that.
But like how they both do their stances is completely different from one another. But if you're thinking charged character who also goes into a different stance, that's Kagura.
That sounds
Yeah.
like that sounds like a character I'd play.
But you should play Kagura in BlazBlue.
No.
Join me, because there's only like 3 of us out here.
So
I need to play more anime fighters. Is what it is.
you do, and I'll be here for you.
I'll be here for
Well,
you too.
we'll all be here for you.
I seem to find one. Dude.
Yeah.
Elijah.
Well, for who I think is gonna make it, because I was like putting some thought into it, I would assume the two most likely would probably be Johnny and Eno. They're just popular characters.
Yeah.
Off the rip, like for a beta at least, it'd be kind of weird for me to not see Johnny, especially because of his popularity after like Rev and Rev 2, and how much he became like. Because I don't know past Rev and Rev 2, I only know like Rev and Rev 2, and I just know seeing him from Rev to Rev 2, he just jumped up in like top tierness, and then at that in popularity, and then well, I don't know if you guys seen like cosplayers. But like that's exactly. So it's like it's expected in my opinion.
We put big prayers for cosplayers.
Yo, shout outs to me who at this recent Evo saw a really good Eno cosplayer and was too scared to ask for a picture. I'm still kicking myself over, dude.
Yeah, it's alright, dude. Fucking.
It's like, bro, she's my main. You think I'd go and ask for a picture?
Yo, there's that Valentine at fucking Anime Expo, dude, this year. That was fantastic.
Shout out to Skullgirls.
Shout out to Skullgirls.
Wait, which Valentine? Because there's like 50 million characters.
The nurse, she has the.
Oh, Valentine from
pulled back
Skullgirls.
hair.
Yeah.
Eye
Okay.
patch.
Thought she was talking about
Ready
like.
for your shot?
Yeah.
Thought you were talking about Valentine from Guilty Gear 2,
No.
which
That'd
hella
be cool.
obscure. So if
Yeah,
you saw
that
somebody cosplaying
That'd be
her, you better have taken a picture.
You'll always have next year.
It's true.
Hopefully.
Always have next year.
I would want to see Dizzy because that's my main.
Disney,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I feel like Disney's a given.
I bet when they were doing the character polls, you voted for Disney.
Oh hell
You're,
yeah!
you're the reason why we had to wait for Brian.
You know what's the crazy part? You know what's the crazy part? I didn't even know, and because I didn't, like I said, I didn't compete in the game. I only know from what I watched. I didn't know that when you do her half circle forward, it's I don't know if it's her drive super but it's the one that sends the full beam blast and knocks her off. It gives her her old costume. Yeah, I didn't know that, and when I went and did it. I was like, I don't know why I felt so hyped, but I was just like, I need more of this. Because that is the coolest thing I've ever seen. But besides that, like, I'm happy, like, Soul's in, because obviously Soul's gonna be in the demo. It would be kind of weird for him not to be. To me, all I want to see is his dragon install, because I don't know why, but of late, I think I'm just a sucker for installs. And seeing him, like, just seeing his install and then the shit that I didn't know he could do with the install, that was my second character I'm gonna go to. If not, hopefully, like, Ram Lethal, because I like set play and trap characters. But mainly, it's like Dizzy, because that's like the character I gravitated to like the most. She probably won't be in the demo. Hopefully, she's in it like the full game. I don't know how her likeliness is being in the game, because there's like 5 different zoners, right? And then there's like what's his face? That's Q guy, the pole Q guy.
Venom.
Yeah, Venom. That's like kind of like suited her playstyle, but not the same, because how he zones is different. But the same like architectural like build of a zoner is kind of covered by him. So if he makes it in, that makes me kind of scared for her life.
The only way Venom's making it in is if Milia's making it in, because as far as Guilty Gear is concerned, those two characters are joined by the fucking hip, and that pisses me off so much. It's like, all I need to see is Milia one time, and I already know that Zato and Venom are coming back, and I don't like dealing with Venom or Milia. Venom is fine. Did I say I don't like dealing with Venom? Venom's fine. I don't like dealing with Zato, and I don't like dealing with Milia. And Milia always brings those niggas with her. Everywhere she goes. They're stuck together for lore reasons, which is fine, except I hate their subplot. So, like, I don't even like that aspect of them either. So it's like, it's kind of like seeing Bison return in Street Fighter, because you're like, oh my god, here comes all the Shadowloo. Vega's coming back, Balrog's coming back, Sagat probably might come back too.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I could see. I feel like my experience with Guilty Gear is that outside of Soul and Kai, Dizzy's one of the names I've probably heard the most.
That's why I see it
personally.
I can see that.
Yeah, I have a hard time thinking Dizzy won't make it in, and that's why it was such a big deal when Dizzy was announced for Rev.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my take.
You didn't hear anybody making Bridget memes?
No.
I am surprised.
Dizzy's a much bigger name for me as far as Guilty Gear is concerned than most. That's the name I've heard the most.
I'm honestly surprised. I'm glad you lived under that rock. Dude, the Bridget discourse is absolutely annoying to witness.
There's a separate Discord for this?
Discourse.
Oh, discourse. I'm like...
But I wouldn't be surprised if the Bridget Discord is just a whole bunch of people sending like trap memes and shit like that.
It's like their own Jonesy for Smash Discords too.
Oh, please.
That's the only thing.
Keep that fucking game. I'm upset I reinstalled that. It's on my fucking desktop. I can see it at the top left. You know, install that shit.
I don't even think that there's anybody who genuinely likes playing Bridget as a character. Like, people, like, there are people out there who want Bridget to return to 2020, which he won't. But it's like nobody. I've never seen anybody who's like, yeah, I seriously made Bridget. This is the only character I play. Check out my tech videos on Bridget. I don't even think there is tech for Bridget. Nobody plays this character seriously. So the fact that a whole bunch of people want him back is like, why? Like, time has progressed in Guilty Gear between X2 and Xrd. He's not going to look exactly the same, especially with 2020 like heavily revamping some characters. Like May, for example, she doesn't look like a baby anymore. She actually has grown up. Bridget isn't still going to be some petite little boy dressed up in a female nun's costume. He's going to be older.
Probably still dressed in a petite nun's costume.
Probably, but he won't be small.
He'll just be gross.
It's like he'll still be a dude.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll find out more info about the two characters and a release date for Guilty Gear 2020 at the Arc Revo North American Tour. That is taking place the weekend of November 16th, I believe.
Oh wow.
So, and then that will Yeah.
Ready to rock, man.
Yeah.
Y'all
ready to rock.
Can someone link me to like that song when it finally fucking drops? Like,
For
am I the
real.
only person who keeps like asking them to
Everybody
release that damn
wants the whole
song?
song.
Yeah.
Everybody
I want
wants
the whole song. It's fucking sick.
Wait for the
For Guilty, the theme song they used for
the new Guilty Gear.
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't heard
Oh,
it.
I don't
yet.
think I've heard it either.
You haven't heard?
I haven't heard it either.
Anytime I hear the
Oh.
words Guilty Gear, I just think of the one from Xrd Sign.
Oh
Heavy
yeah.
Day. Heavy Day is a banger.
Yeah.
Brave
Every
spells
day.
fucking good
But
too.
you know, this new one for Guilty Gear 2020, I think it's bullshit. That they that they're taking this fucking long to release the whole version of the
Oh
song.
my god.
We'll probably get it when the game launches.
Man, ArcSys just has some fucking banger ass songs in their games. It's
They do.
nuts.
I still listen to Iconoclast from the first Blaze Blue
Yeah.
to this day, years later. That song stuck with me. So
Yeah,
I
it's
agree.
good.
Awakening to Chaos still fucking slaps. Love that song so much.
Awakening to Chaos.
So, more info that we got is new character reveal trailer for Grand Blue Fantasy Versus.
This is where everybody stops talking and I carry the whole
Yeah.
I was just going to comment. I just watched this trailer.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I just saw the thumbnail
Fortunately.
for the reveal trailer. It showed Zeta in her red armor and obvious assets showing. So had to give that a
We
click.
refer to that as
Big-
plot.
yeah, good old plot armor. That's why I play Elfelt.
Oh my god. You did not just.
Probably the character I will pick up in this game if I do play to start. I kind of like base my characters on character design when I pick them
Yeah.
up.
That's
Because Johnny's character design is sick. Elfeld, for obvious reasons.
I am in the same boat.
Uh,
Like purely, like from a purely like wholesome.
I feel like
Aesthetic,
everybody.
like,
from
I
a
feel
pure
like
from a
everybody.
pure standpoint, like jokes aside, the first thing I look at when it comes to a fighting game, and this going to a topic that we're probably going to discuss later,
Yeah. we can
is
discuss it
character
now.
aesthetic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Purely, if you don't have characters that I can gravitate to, I'm probably not going to play you, Tekken.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you're not wrong.
Right. Well, there's some characters
Where's
I
the
like
lie?
That
into.
is
Where's the lie?
that is literally me in every single
Where's the
game
lie?
that NetherRealm Studio has put out in their lifetime. because
those are some
I-
fighting words in this one.
I know,
don't
hold
like,
up.
I don't like a single character in Mortal Kombat, and I don't like DC Comics, and that's like.
Well,
one
I don't
of the
blame you for the DC
Yeah,
Comics
you
one,
don't
but let's be real.
yeah.
How does it feel living your life wrong?
I mean, I don't know. I'm doing a pretty good job so far, honestly. Having a whole
Was
lot
it
more fun.
Dimitri? Was it his fault?
I just heard him today.
Dimitri
so-
Vegas.
Yeah.
Dimitri Vegas and MK11.
I don't
If you haven't
even
heard
know
it,
who he
don't.
is.
Don't listen to it. It's not worth it.
I haven't heard that's fucking good.
Only Dimitri I know is from Darkstalkers, homie.
Not to,
Yeah?
not to
Yes,
derail
please.
from-
Say more.
Yeah.
Say more.
Not to derail from Grand Blue, but
Yeah.
character aesthetic, yeah.
I did like the characters.
So, Jalen was the only one who got the opportunity to play the Grand Blue beta when it came out. So
But you remember?
Oh, the beta? I played the beta.
you played the beta
Yeah.
too. So
Oh, damn.
how did you guys feel about it when you guys were playing it? Because I'm curious.
I had more fun playing the beta than I thought I would. Mind you, you gotta keep in mind, I've kind of been burnt out on Art System's recent offerings of Dragon Ball and Cross Tag. So it's like the fact that we have a one-on-one game and we have charge motions, DPs and stuff now.
That's cool.
It's like, oh man, like I'm glad I still remember how to do a fucking Dragon Punch motion. After doing quarter circles for the better half of like a year and a half.
Yeah.
I feel that.
But when I was playing the demo, so the demo had all of the characters' move lists available, and that's how like I went through just to kind of see what's going on here.
Yeah, same.
So I could figure out how to do my character special moves and stuff. And I remember getting a Charlotta, and I saw that she had charge motions, and she has Akuma's Demon Flip from Street Fighter with
That's
the
cool.
same exact follow-ups as Akuma's Demon Flip from Street
Interesting.
Fighter. She has a dive kick. She has a move where if you don't press any button, she does a sweep when she lands. She has a command grab out of it. So I'm just like, I played Akuma when I played Third Strike. I know how that move works. I'm gonna play this character.
Alright.
Her charge moves function like E Honda, so she has a body tackle and she has like an anti-air where she goes up and then comes back down. And she also kind of has a move that's similar to the Hunter Hand Slap, where she just kind of swings her sword around and does Gorillion damage.
Gorillion damage?
Gorillion
damage.
Hello?
I like that.
Shoutouts to Grog, man.
Brilliant damage.
That does Gorillion damage, and it's great. And like, as soon as I saw that stuff, I'm just like, yeah, this character is my main. Also, it helps that she's tiny and she's cute. And I feel like if I'm getting W's with this character, a lot of people are going to be really mad. And throughout the whole time I was playing the demo, I think it's the fact that it kind of gave me shades of, damn, the name of the game is on the tip of my tongue. It's not Street Fighter. A lot of people are comparing Grand Blue Fantasy versus Street Fighter.
Yeah,
I'm just like,
a lot of people.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what it's sounding
just,
like.
Just because the game doesn't have any air dashes, doesn't mean it's Street
I
Fighter.
hate when people do this because they always do this. Like, because they say the same shit with Eunice. They're like, oh, it's just Street Fighter with anime and an air dash. I'm like,
It's like, no.
just because a character is on a 2D platform and jumps forward and back and moves forward and back,
Has a DP.
exactly. It's not. That doesn't make it Street
Are you
Fighter.
thinking of...
Battle Fantasia.
Oh, okay.
Battle Fantasia.
Oh, I was
Has
about to
anybody
say
played
King of
Battle
Fighters.
Fantasia? It's okay if you say no.
I've seen it. I haven't played it.
See, I was thinking of King of Fighters as well.
For what?
See, so
Or like
For the game.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
So Battle Fantasia was an old game that ArcSys made back when they lost the Guilty Gear license to Sega Sammy Holdings. This is when they were in that weird nebulous period where there wasn't a new Guilty Gear game coming out. And this is before BlazBlue. They made Battle Fantasia. And what Battle Fantasia was, and is the game that I default to when I'm talking about Arc Systems simplifying their games, was it was a more simpler take on their types of games. Because everybody knew that their games are like execution heavy, whole lot of resources, meters, cancels, shit like that.
Yeah.
Grand Blue Fantasy Versus doesn't have those things, and neither does Battle Fantasia. I was supposed to say Battle Fantasia first, but
I got you.
it slipped. The whole point of Battle Fantasia was to actually get women into fighting games, and I guess that's why they made it a little simplified. But like at the same time, like there were still like regular fighting game conventions in there. Like they didn't oversimplify everybody's inputs and stuff like that. You still had double motions to do supers. There was DPs, charge characters. There's 2 charge characters. And the only major gimmick that game had was 2 things. It's something called the Gachi counter, which kind of sort of functions like the parries from Street Fighter 3. But like if you do a follow-up after you hit the Gachi counter, then like your opponent goes into the special state where you can juggle them for longer than if you were to not use the Gachi counter. And Heat Up, where you can, I think if you press all the face buttons, you spend a meter and your character goes into a powered up state that is individually different for every character. So it's kind of sort of shades of Overdrive and BlazBlue, except it lasts for much shorter and it's not dependent on how much health you have. It's just, I think it lasts like a couple of seconds, and it's real short. If you just kind of activate it and stand around and do nothing, it just goes away almost immediately. So you gotta like combo into it and stuff like that, and that's where all the depth of that game came from. But other than that, that was like all the gimmicky bullshit that it had in there.
Yeah.
And if Street Fighter 4 didn't come out, I felt like more people probably would have paid attention to that game. But unfortunately, Battle Fantasia came out several months before Street Fighter 4 hit consoles, and then once Street Fighter 4 hit consoles, it was a fucking wrap. But when I was playing Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, like I felt like I was playing Battle Fantasia again, because it's not your usual typical Arc Systems fighting game. There's not a whole bunch in the way of overcomplicated combos, quote unquote, and stuff like that. A lot of the characters are very basic, pretty simple. There's not a whole bunch of different crazy systems in there. Like the super meter in Grand Blue Fantasy Versus is literally only used for super moves, and that's it.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing I didn't like about it. Like when I was playing it, it's because I think when I went, what my problem was going into it is, I hate this because I'm like in this bundled up group of people who have like this hive mind where like I hear ArcSys, I'm like.
And you immediately think
I was like, I'm about to get really hyped. It's about to be a lot of work, and I played the beta, and I'm like, so like I just did this DP motion. That was cool. I did this one because I played Fairy, so like I was just like, I'd set up like one combo, and I'd put out it was like I don't even remember like what the inputs were for it, but like you'd send out like the medium pet, which is like it's kind of like I want to say about half screen. I'd do that into the corner. The biggest thing you can do is like her little spiral whip, and then after they bounce off of the wall after connecting off of the pet, you could do DP, and then that's like the combo. And then if you did it like a hit confirm into it, like so say you did her like standing B, then you did the meter burn whip, you bounce off, then you could do the meter burn whip again, and then that was like it. Because like you could kind of follow up with a DP, but like at that point, it didn't add any more damage. I could go and do any setup into into any of the pets. I could do the close pet or the mid pet. The meter burn one, in my opinion, didn't felt useful because like it did like 2 hits. Like so, it would hit the ground, it would walk, and then like do 2 hits. But like it was never really useful because like if I'm setting up the first one, I'm already getting you to block like her instant jump. I think it was an instant jump B because it was like a whip that hit near the ground.
Yeah.
So after that point, if I'm already hit confirming off of that, and my next 2 hits, or like I'd say special moves rather, are going to do the biggest chunk of my damage. Well, and then her special move was her little orb where she would summon that like big dog and then it would turn into an orb. It just kind of felt like because I know who this is. I know who the audience this is geared to.
Yeah, because it's geared to people who play gacha games.
Exactly. I didn't know prior to with it being announced that Grand Blue was a gacha game. I instantly just thought, oh, this is something they came up on the fly.
No.
This is cool. And when I found out it was a gacha game, it kind of made me a little bit sad because I was like, now I kind of know why the game plays the way it does. Now, it's not to say it's bad. I personally kind of don't like it, but for only the reasons of why I don't like how like MK kind of went their way with direction with stuff. Like, there's certain things and aspects I enjoy in a fighting game. I'm not a person who goes and say I need combos in my game because like I play like all different types of fighters, so I don't need combos. But like there's simple executions and just mechanics in general where like if it's lacking, it shows. Especially like them knowing them making Guilty Gear. There is like Roman cancels have 3 different forms, and they're for 3 distinct uses. Once people labbed it out, now they have 6 and 7 different uses. Not only just making you more plus, not making you more safe. So like when you go from that then to Grand Blue, it kind of like as a fan of just fighting games in general, not even just talking about like just mechanics or anything, you start really seeing like there's a lot less depth and a lot less much you can do with the game, because I know it's probably going to be that approach where it's more in the movement and the spacing, but like I feel like, at least in my opinion, MK's kind of already solidified that with MK11. We've already covered that game where it's like, I guess there's no anime game that's done that, but like if you ask me, every anime game is based off of movement. So like, without, I would say, the more traditional way of using special moves, because I know it's different for how it's meter burning to normal moves, because they're all on that set cooldown. And then to tag along that with how combos are set up, how setups are done, there's not a whole lot to chew on, at least for my taste. And it's maybe just me, because I'm like a tech junkie and just a lab rat, where I just sit in the lab. I can sit in the lab the same thing over like an hour or 2 and just feel happy just doing that. But I know other people, they'll look at training mode and they say, oh, well, I got the basic moves down, let's hit online. And so, like, that's where I could see where the game...
Guilty as charged.
Yeah.
Like, that's why it's just, like, I can see why a lot of people would be like, oh, well, the game's fine. And just, for someone like me, I feel like I'm in that solo corner of people who really like, there's things in games where I go back to it just to practice the execution, because not only does it make my execution better and it keeps me more clean cut for the games that I main in and I play, but it's a fun thing to feel accomplished when you're like, I moved from MKX was the first game I started competing in, to a game where I was playing Blaze Blue, and I said, I went through the top, like the missions, I was like, oh, these are easy. Then I seen there was a second route, I said, huh. And then I went through the second route, I said, these aren't that bad. And then I see the expert route, and I'm like, 65 different inputs for just one combo? And I'm just like sitting there, and I'm like reflecting on life as if, should I continue with this? Do I love myself enough?
But you were doing Tao Kaka's combo challenges, weren't you?
No, I was doing Naoto.
That's even worse. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you should have heard Charles' his response to me. I said, I looked at Naoto and I said, And instantly he looked at me and said, "Do you love your fingers?"
That's the question I ask everybody who hovers over now on the characters to like. It's like,
Do you love your fingers?
do you want to continue using your hands in the foreseeable future? No or hell no.
Exactly. But yeah, so like as it plays, I feel like it's gonna be a good game. I feel like it's gonna be a game that most people enjoy. I don't know how big or how popular, determined on, I guess, the masses of who this game is marketed towards. But like,
Grand Blue is popular as shit.
oh, I'm aware.
that game is large as fuck.
Yeah, it's crazy to me that how big it is. Is it China?
It's not that big out here. Like, I think we just recently got Grand Blue on phones out here in the States, but in Japan that shit is massive. Cygames has $50 million. Them pop bonuses are gonna be sick for versus.
Oh yeah, I could.
Oh, wow,
I was just talking to Brandon before everyone got here about how bizarre, to me at least, how it feels to see a mobile game explode the way this has, to the point where it's dipping its feet into another genre.
Oh well, it's also getting like an actual console RPG game too.
Yeah, that adds more to the point though. Like,
yeah.
I don't think I can think of, or I've seen another game that's like, hey, we're gonna throw this in, and then it gets to a point where it's like, all right, we're gonna take this and now just, you know,
go with it.
Spread into different genres. Which, ironically, that's gonna be another game that we talk about a little bit later.
Oh,
But
I'm excited.
I got a lot to say
I will
about that.
say- I will
Yeah.
say, as far as from what I've seen from Grand Blue, I still haven't played it. I want to try it.
They're just come over to the crib when the game comes
It's
out.
a weird dynamic because I've already found a character that I'm probably gonna try, but it's
Who is
still Percival.
Yeah, he looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Percival seems like my type of character, but it's also weird because I feel like some of the characters are like overly designed to the point where it feels, I don't know, there's definitely an aesthetic there, but it feels like I can't, like, after looking at the characters, I wouldn't be able to tell you which one was which. Just
Yeah,
by
a lot
looking at them.
of Grand Blue.
I think it's that it's
Like that.
the aesthetic, because me, after like watching a couple videos and like looking up like a whole bunch of stuff, I think it's just because the aesthetic of how gacha games form, they all have that base look that they base everything off of, and then they expand off of it.
It
Like,
looks like a mobile
and
game.
a lot of the and then one YouTuber that I watch, Coefficient, because he's like a known.
I also
and-
follow him on Twitch.
I was watching his video on characters he want in the game because he plays the game and I know I don't. I didn't even know what Grand Blue was until the fighting game was announced. But like looking at the characters, at all the ones that he thinks that are gonna make it in the roster, I was just, my mind was kind of blown, and I was like kind of taken back to like their aesthetics are also similar, but like when you go deep root into how they are as a character, that's kind of thing that differentiates them from the rest of the cast, and that's why I'm like, I get why this game's popular. Now I get why people love this game.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, obviously it's more to do with just how a character's structured and how they're like, you know, their whole background and how they're formed and how they fit into the lore. But like, there's a lot of characters, even just by aesthetic, like, because mine looking forward to is not only Fairy, but Metra. When I see Metra, I don't know why, but like, you would think that the first thing you look when you see, oh, I'm gonna main a female character, is plot. No, the first thing I seen was her on her stilt shoes. Like, she has these weird stilt shoes, and I seen that, and I said, that is so fucking dope. I want to play this character. All the zoning stuff and the arrows and thing was like a side thing for me, because once I seen that, I was like, oh, this is cool too. But like when I seen her walk out and how she just leans and look, I'm just, not only am I sitting there, because of course we all watch anime, but like I have to question reality sometimes. It's just like, how are you leaning forward and not falling?
How are you fine?
But once I made it past that, I was just thinking, like, this design is so fucking cool, and it made me just, that's what made me pay attention to the game more. Because I thought the beta was going to make me pay attention to it more, but, like, I think it's just how the game is designed. Maybe that's why I'm not just distancing myself away from it immediately. That's why I want to wait until the game comes out. But, like, as where it stands and seeing the characters came out, and especially, I don't know how to say his name. It's
Vasarega?
Vasaraga?
Yeah, something like that.
He made me even more excited because seeing how, like, that man is, like, the Broly. Like, they designed Broly in Fighters and said, we need a character with even more retarded armor. they were like, we get that he's big. Everyone knows he's big. Everyone knows he hits hard, but we need him to feel powerful.
Yeah.
And they went, well, armor makes you feel powerful. But they're like, yes, but no. And they're like, but no, wait, this is how. And then they seen it, they saw what they were going to put in the trailer, and somewhere in the dev room said, yeah, okay, there we go, we're going to run with that.
Yeah.
This man is sitting for like 4 frames of armor on a simple stomp. A simple stomp. Finally connects the stomp after getting hit 4 times. I was like, yeah, he looks like he's going to be a fun character too. If not, annoying to fight. But hey, you know, to each their own.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like I think maybe your concern with the demo is the fact that like they just had a whole bunch of simplistic characters.
Yeah.
Because everybody who wasn't in the demo has some crazy bullshit going on with their kids. Versus like where we got in the demo, we got Ryu and Ken in the form of Gran and Catalina.
Exactly.
We got Rushdown Boy and damn, what the fuck is his name? Lancelot.
Yeah, Lancelot. I hate Lancelot.
Fairy is his owner, and Charlotta is Akuma / E Honda, who is like the most not basic character out of the 5 that were.
Oh,
in the
yeah,
demo.
definitely.
And that's why I gravitated super hard to Charlotta, because it's like I can play E Honda and Akuma at the same time. Because I played E Honda in Street Fighter 4, and I played Akuma in Third Strike. I know the general game plan for both of these characters. Plus, I'm tiny, so I ain't getting hit by anything. Hell yeah, let's go. I like this.
Those
Yeah.
combinations of characters, just after briefly looking at Charlotta, are not the 2 I would
Right?
expect.
Right? Because I was expecting like a tiny, short Rushdown type character who like all she does is all of her moves move her forward and that's it.
Like Platinum or maybe even S.
Yeah.
Somewhere
Yeah.
close to that.
But it's like, nah, she's E Honda and Akuma. So if you know how to play those characters, you know how to play Charlotta. And like, I was beating everybody in the demo using my E Honda and Akuma knowledge.
Satsu coming in.
Yeah. That's some very great input on Grand Blue. So that's going to be coming out in Japan February 2020, and will eventually come out in North America at a later date.
I thought it was a worldwide release.
Nope, it is not, unfortunately.
So I have to wait longer than
Oh,
February?
But didn't they give us a release date on the last one for the story mode trailer? Didn't
Yeah, I swear it comes in February to the States too.
Last I looked, because I think we actually looked last weekend, it said it was dropping in Japan February 2020 and at a later date. in America.
Yeah, that's what it said. Sorry, bud.
Yeah.
No, I want to play that game now.
Which, to be fair, from my experience, that's at least consistent with what I've had to deal with previous BlazBlue entries, where they got the game months in
Yeah.
advance.
Well,
Yeah.
shit, I am going to import Grand Blue Fantasy Versus then. Thank you
do it,
for
dude.
telling me I need to do that.
You are welcome. So,
Talk about another game that's not
Yeah.
going to come out for a few fucking years.
This
Yeah.
is not going to come out in our lifetime. Let's be real.
going back, when we were talking about IPs venturing into different genres of games, Riot Games had their 10th anniversary for League of Legends, I believe 2-3 days ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a game I have a very hard love-hate relationship with.
That's the
I-
game that
I
I have a
do.
hate relationship.
I can relate.
Yeah. So
You're here.
they teased Project L back at Evo. Very little
In
to
a sentence.
Very little to
One
no
of the
details.
cannons literally just said it existed.
It exists. Literally all we got. But then for the 10th anniversary stream for Riot Games, they showed still shots. I don't know if they showed actual video.
There was
There's
a
two
couple
videos.
of little snippets
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff in there, little when they were announcing like fucking everything. There was a couple of snippets where they're showing off some
Yeah.
kind of gameplay
Okay.
and stuff
They have like
that.
a little bit of animated and like a grid format. Like it kind of looks like
Like-
a training mode, but it's super placeholder.
Mhm.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
game is in pre-alpha.
Yeah,
It's,
not
no, it's
probably
free
both.
outlet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
they made that
not
very
even.
clear. And I'm gonna be honest, after
Yeah.
seeing that trailer and seeing Jinx shoot up and it literally looking only
Yeah.
like 10%, yeah, free
Yeah.
out.
It's super.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no way this game's not coming out for a few years.
Yeah. So the characters that they showed there, Darius, Ari, Jinx, and Katarina, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So those being the 4. I would like to see other characters. I think Riven and Yasuo will be 2 good additions to the game. As me personally, I think Draven's moveset would be dope as fuck.
Yeah, if I'm talking about a character wish list, Draven is my number
Yeah,
one.
absolutely.
But
I don't see us getting any info on this
Yeah.
for at least another year. Maybe they
Well,
might
yeah.
talk about it more.
That's what they said in the special. They even said, like, after this, we're going dark for
Yeah,
Yeah.
quite some time.
they made it notable.
Yeah.
They even said it on Twitter that they specifically said that they want to really hammer down on what they already have. Obviously, what they showed wasn't even much to show, but they showed enough to show you that it exists. And now it's kind of like knowing like kind of how most fighting games work when they're in development. We're probably not going to know anything for at least the next year and a half, at least 2 years. I would say it's easier to just assume 2 years, because if they're already saying it's pre-alpha, I would almost just safely assume that this game has probably only been in development for the past year.
Yeah.
Because even though the canons have been
in like
the canons have been with Riot after they got bought after making Rising Thunder, it was like 2 years ago, but they never actually started production on a fighting game, or at least that what we knew. And it didn't become known until EVO. So if it didn't become known until EVO, and Rising Thunder had ended like 2 years ago on par. So I would say
something like that.
Yeah. So I would say roughly it's only been in production for a year. And knowing how fighting games usually turn out, at least I would say good, well thought out mechanically fighting games, I would aim that it's gonna be another like at least 2 years for us to even hear anything.
Yeah, I could agree with that 100%, and especially with them working on that Legends of Runeterra card game, and then the hybrid Overwatch CS:GO.
That shooter looks like it's gonna be so fucking fun. I'm actually hyped to play.
I agree with that. It looks interesting. I have a hate relationship with Counter-Strike Go. But it definitely looks interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
I think it's pretty cool that you mentioned that they had bought out the Rising Thunder guys, because a lot of people who have are expressing interest in the League of Legends fighting game are assuming that it's going to play like
I don't
Rising Thunder, and I really hope that's not a path they go down.
Yeah, because to me, like, there's one thing about how Granblue was made in that way, but like, let's all be real here. No one's trying to get one button short. You can like. That just seems like a terrifying mechanic.
And it's like with how Granblue handles the cooldowns and stuff. It's completely different from how Rising Thunder handles them.
Exactly.
Rising Thunder handles the cooldowns like how every single game that has cooldowns handles them. Granblue Fantasy's cooldowns work a little different. You can do those special moves either by pressing the special move button in a direction, which will trigger longer cooldowns for your special moves, or you can just do the input and the cooldowns are basically non-existent.
Exactly.
Rising Thunder, you press a button and you can't do this move for 15 seconds. That is stupid.
Yeah,
that is so dumb.
I don't like how they make. I mean, I know and I've seen gameplay. I never actually played it myself. It looks like Rising Thunder looks like a very fun game, but like it's being hindered by a cooldown, a real cooldown. Like, I'm sorry, but like I'm not trying to be like, oh, cool. I'm trying to do this one move that does a lot of damage, and I'm like, oh, I see a window where I could do it again. That would, give me more benefit to use it more. No, you're stuck not using it for like the next 6 seconds.
I believe if I remember correctly, this is years ago, like Rising Thunder and me did not hang out for a very long time, but I distinctly remember some character having a TP and it was on a 7-second cooldown, and I was like, damn, that's 7 seconds of me having to respect pressure. That's stupid.
Right?
Yeah, I don't like any of that.
That sounds like
to be fair, though, I feel like you could argue a similar case for how they work with meter in Mortal Kombat 11.
Yeah.
Because you have DPs sort of, that are kind of assigned to when you have meter, and that meter alone feels more like a cooldown-based system, less than I have meter that I can use. It feels more like a cooldown thing. Like, this is the cooldown for my, combo breakaway. This is the cooldown for my wake up. So I feel like it's at least looking at it in that perspective, it's a little bit easier to kind of adjust to. But
I feel like if the UI didn't have the move in the box, and when I press the button to do the move, and it grayed out, and it slowly fills up with showing me a number in there, I feel like if it didn't do that, I would probably care less about the cooldown. So you might be onto something with that.
I mean, and again, we'll see how it goes. I'm not sure.
If it wasn't as much of a visual indicator, you'd appreciate it more.
Well, I mean, I just don't want the cooldowns to work like how Rising Thunder.
Yeah,
you
don't want to be showed that you can't do something.
And if the cooldowns do exist, I hope they do what Granblue does, where like I get rewarded by
for being knowledgeable.
Playing fighting.
It's like similar to like how Smash is with Ryu and Ken. You know the inputs, they do more damage.
Yeah.
You don't know the inputs, well, they're not going to do as much. It's like you want it to be rewarded. You want to be rewarded because you know. and not be hindered because you do know, but they won't allow you to.
Yeah.
It's like you knowing more about a fighting game, and they're saying, look, slow down, let him catch up. You want to be told, look, you know what you're doing, keep going. He needs to catch up. You want that to happen. You don't want it vice versa. Because to tell someone to stop doing something, especially in a fighting game, where, in my opinion, are like one of the games that should be the most open-ended.
Yeah.
And a lot of fighting games are starting to gravitate to not being open-ended because they're being more accessible and not open-ended for people who are knowledgeable. It kind of hinders the process of not only the fighting game as a whole, but its popularity amongst people who actually are going to stick with it. Because, like, it's one thing to say that, like, 10 million people bought MK. It's another thing to say that 10 million people are still playing MK.
Yeah.
So you want the people who are staying and are sticking to the game to be rewarded and feel rewarded. There's a reason why Tekken is saying and still saying that they keep growing. That game is known to be hard execution-wise, and they're still growing. That should say a lot in comparison to other games who that in the past and coming up are being made easier and slowly are dropping out and not becoming as popular. So
going back to League, I hope they keep that nice dynamic.
Exactly.
This is, and I'm excited for that, for all that, because League has like their LCS format, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like they're going to be showing off their stuff there, and this is going to bring more people into the FGC. This is going to bring more like newcomers into it, and I hope they can manage to make a game that is simple enough for new people to play and is complicated for people like us to be able to have fun playing it with.
You know, like rewards.
Yeah.
Time dedicated to it.
Like, I'm not saying it has to be like a puzzle piece, like Blaze
Yeah.
Blue missions, like expert missions, and then on top of that, be told, like, imagine just being someone new, you finish expert missions, and then be told, oh yeah, those aren't optimal combos. You shouldn't use those.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just don't play Naruto.
too.
That's the answer.
Exactly.
Just don't
It's like-
play Naruto.
it's
Bad
like-
tutorials are bad.
It's like you don't want to be told that what you've learned is not useful. You want to be told that what you learn is useful in increments to learning the entirety of the game.
Yeah.
So it's like just for them to just gear towards the section of we want people who already know how to play fighting games to feel rewarded, and looking at the UI of what everybody is kind of speculated. There's like these weird meter systems that kind of look resembling to like I don't even know what they look similar to, but it kind of looked like not really a stun bar like how Street Fighter, but it's in the same placement. I don't know what that would be used for.
I think it'd be cool if it was like a guard gauge, because it's been a hot
That'd be
ass
cool.
minute since I played a fighting game where if I block too much,
Yeah.
my shit
Blaze
breaks.
Blue.
That'd be cool.
Blaze Blue
I
doesn't
missed
even
block.
do that.
Well, no, Blaze
Soul
Blue did
Calibur.
do that. Blaze Blue did do that in
Yeah.
Continuum Shift.
Yeah, and also in if I remember correctly, Calamity Trigger also had it too. The guard primers.
I want to say so, yeah.
So
But, I'm forgetting off the top of my head.
still have that?
Soul Calibur with blocking. Well,
Yeah.
No,
it's-
Soul Calibur you can just block.
yeah, they changed it because
They
of how
took it out.
guard breaks work in Soul Calibur 6 now. So it's like basically everybody, and I would say I want to say the majority of the cast. I forgot how Amy works now. I know she has she has a mechanic with her roses, like she has white rose, red rose. I don't know much about her character, but it kind of amplifies her damage. I don't know how that like peels into her guard breaks, but most guard breaks are like plus on block.
Yeah.
And how they function, they're supposed to guard block not just you guarding, but you trying to exemplify the guard. So like say it's like kind of like breaking a just guard, but like not reading them on a perfect block, but blocking a specific section they shouldn't be blocking.
Okay.
So in a turn, if they kind of gear towards something like that, like say you're like in a specific section of a block string where you're like it should be known as fate, and you're rewarded as a player for creating that situation and continue to have them block, and then likewise they're punished for not blowing you up for obviously what is obvious.
Okay.
I would see if a system like that, because that's kind of like how Soul Calibur is, but Soul Calibur is more simplified than how I say you'd want the mechanic to function, because you don't want it to be as simple as gray and like black and white as, oh, you just block too much, you get punished. You're on a block string, you're rewarded. You don't want it just that gray and black, because that's not even how it is in Soul Calibur.
That's not
It's just
black.
it's geared towards that direction. So But yeah, it's like there's those 2 meters. There's full 3-bar meters, like very standard Street Fighter 3-bar meters.
I thought it was sectioned off into 4.
What, it was a section off in the floor?
Yeah, it looks like it was section.
Oh, it's a Street Fighter 4. So it's section. Okay,
Yeah,
so
it's got the meter. If we're still talking about what little we've seen for Project Hell,
Yeah,
those are 4 segments.
okay.
four.
So I missing it. So yeah, other than that, so it's probably they're gonna have standard like type of meter type.
Yeah.
Meter usable moves.
As funny as we talked about it earlier, kind of looked like Street Fighter for a certain things.
Yeah.
Actually, it looks like there's gonna be like wall bounces, ground bounces, all that shit. For
I mean, I guess this is. I actually had a question on my mind too, which could also open up other similarities to different games. Their model for the characters. Do you think we're gonna get like a solid? Here's the release, this is the game in its entirety, play it as it is, or do you think we're going to go, considering League's expansive character pool?
Yeah, they have like 100. They have like 140.
Yeah, it's 140 plus. Do you think we might get another round of Killer Instinct where they release the game?
They cycle out characters. And stuff
they
that?
cycle out characters. They release a base value, and then as time goes on, you get different seasons where you continuously add more characters. Like, do you think this is going to be a model where they can build sequels, or do you think it's going to be a one and done build as we go, similar to League of Legends is at its own?
I feel like it would be like a single build as you go kind of thing, because I've always kind of felt like that's the direction that fighting games should go. Because I've always seen people complain about coming in late, and then like Super Street Fighter 4 came out, and they just bought Vanilla Street Fighter 4 3 days ago, and they feel stupid. They want their money back.
Oh, and those poor souls who bought Super Street Fighter didn't realize that Ultra Street Fighter came out, and the same poor souls who bought Ultra Street Fighter didn't know Arcade Edition came out 6 months later.
Exactly. It's like just to like
Capcom wanted money if that wasn't obvious.
And you know what? Like Capcom was doing a pretty good job at curbing that shit with 5 until too many people cried about that game, and then they made Arcade Edition. And well, I don't think Street Fighter 5 is a bad game. We can argue about that on stream.
We could.
We can argue about that on the way. We can argue about that on the way home.
Yeah.
But it's like just so people can stop making those complaints and stuff. I've always felt like it was smarter for fighting games to just build on what their one release already came out. Because it's like, what are you losing by going in that direction?
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing. It's not like the updates sell more than the vanilla version.
Yeah.
If you look at sales for fighting games and stuff, the vanilla versions always crush it. But like by the time you get to your Ultra and your Extend, less people are buying that one versus the vanilla version of that same exact game.
Yeah.
That always happens. Never fails. So just make the one game build upon it. Because it's not like you're making extra money. By the time the new versions come out, the only people who's buying it
Are the same people.
are the people who are super into the game in the first
unless
place.
you want League of Legends Fighters Xrd Chronophasm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't personally want that. I want them to do how Killer Instinct went, because like I feel like seeing what Iron Galaxy did with Killer Instinct, I think they should know that it's a safe bet for them to not only make this free to play, which is assuming what I think they're gonna do, but build off of the roster. Because League of Legends has been on this system of free to play forever.
Yeah.
And it works.
10 years to be exact.
Exactly.
10 years of it.
So I think by now, after 10 years, they know free to play maybe kind of works. They're gonna probably do it for at least all their games.
So yeah, if it's a free to play fighting game and they're worried about fucking making money off of it, you just sell goddamn skins.
And
they'll do
that.
And this is where I say I hope Akali gets in with her KDA skin.
And that's probably what it's going to be. A bunch of money towards skins. I hope it's not a lot of money towards champions. And
so what I think, they have like the essence system like they do now in League, and they kind of do like a KI thing where if you don't have the whole fucking game, you just have one character, do like a weekly rotation of the characters like they do in base League.
Yeah.
I think that'd be interesting to get other people to check out those characters and then debate on if they like them. I didn't think I'd like fucking Ziggs. Guess what? He was free to play in an ARAM. He's my main mid lane champ that I use. So
I feel like Riot's at this point is like as Elijah was just saying, I feel like they're well-minded enough at this point to know what's probably going to work in their favor for this game. They're probably not as familiar with like the fighting game like scene, I guess,
Yeah.
in a way. But I feel like
I'm sure they're not.
yeah, from a marketing standpoint, they know what models work, and they obviously have the canons to go off of who are responsible for literally probably one of the largest fighting game tournaments in the world at this point.
Because
So-
Evo is literally their child. So without them, we wouldn't have the thing that probably grew fighting games at least the most in the recent 10 years.
Yeah.
So to be realistic, it'd be kind of like I wouldn't want to say stupid of them, but it'd be a blindside approach for them to stray away from what they already know.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of weird for them to do it, especially when just thinking like the idea of like how Killer Instinct came out and to mirror that to a game that kind of already does a similar theme like that. Killer Instinct literally came out, it just had characters, and then as it built more characters, they said, well, here, you guys have the free version, you could pay, and it's crazy because like this system is like, to me, the best way to do this. Here, $20, you get the base roster. $30, you get Season 2. $20 more, you get Season 3. And then after like a year, it just becomes $10 for each of the seasons. And it still stays $20 for the base roster. So realistically, over time, you bought $60 worth of a game. If you waited, you bought $40 for that exact game. And knowing most people, if they didn't really like Killer Instinct, they probably just bought the base roster and did exactly what they did, was wait for it to drop. And they could do the same thing with the League, and it'd probably even be better, because if they even make it just free on rotation, you're 9 times out of 10 going to play the characters that come out Season 2, Season 3, and Season 4, and then on, by them just rotating out characters. And then by that time, when you finally get your character and you can try them, you might as well just buy the game if they just go like how they just pack them all together and just label it off as like $40. And then there you go. You can make your decision there. And then buy the game based off of you just wanting the game now. Because not only is your main character fun, but the characters you tried in rotation prior to that,
they're there.
Yeah. So
that's not even including like aesthetics and skins
Exactly.
and customization.
Everything else that they're going to do in that game.
Yeah.
and that already sells like half their marketing point for like how like League already works.
Yeah.
And then to think that like a fighting game, I would say the fighting game community is like one of those very niche groups that really care about their characters.
Absolutely.
They will buy a full game for just their character.
Yeah.
So
Guilty as charged.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My first reaction when I saw the image in the Discord was, "Oh, still shot of Ari and Darius. Sold.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Take my money."
All you needed.
That's-
Chris from work, he's like, yeah, I'm going to have to pick up the League fighting game when it comes out. He doesn't play fucking League fighting games. He doesn't play fighting games.
I was about to say, yeah.
No, of course he
Like-
doesn't play a League fighting game. None of us.
He doesn't.
little did you guys know, I have inside. I'm just
Yeah.
Let me find out you got some inside sources.
I don't think Riot's gonna fuck it up though, because I think they're too smart at the moment to fuck it up. They waited to say that they even started making it.
Exactly.
Like they're going to try their absolute hardest to not fuck up this game specifically.
Yeah.
Because it's also technically a part of their baby.
Yeah,
It's a part of what made them what they are
exactly.
at this point. So
And
They took the Riot Games meme to heart, no, just Riot Game.
Yeah, I'm
So,
glad they did.
yeah,
The
a day
Rito,
before.
Rito, please.
Yeah.
Wait,
A day
does
before
it-
the 10-year anniversary, they had 1.5 titles if you count Team Fight Tactics.
I was
Yeah,
just
after
about
that,
to say,
they
what
had
about Team
7.
Fight Tactics?
After that, they're like, yeah, we have 7 titles.
I think what happened is that they're just like, we had this like upper echelon like industry in esports. We damn near fostered esports. They're like, I see all these other areas of esports coming up. I want my foot in it.
Yeah, we're just
Yeah.
gonna go in all of them.
So I heard you have a shooter. Would you like it with League characters?
Yeah.
I heard you guys like card games. Would you like it with League characters?
Yeah.
So you guys play fighting games. Have you seen a League character
Yeah.
before?
And my answer,
I-
yes. Give me all
I've
that
seen
shit.
them before.
Give me all that shit.
Not on any places where I should be seeing them. I've definitely seen them. I appreciate the fact that they picked Jinx to put in their fighting game.
Yeah.
Same. Give me Harley Quinn all day.
Oh my god.
Sorry, did
that
I
is
say
so-
Harley? I meant Jinx.
with that being said, I hope the Riot Games fighting game does do pretty good
Yeah.
because I am super waiting for my Overwatch fighter whenever Blizzard stops being fucking terrible.
Oh,
But that's
Yeah.
this is a fighting
that's
game
another
podcast.
story.
Yeah,
that's another story.
Yeah.
And
But you
before
know-
before we stray off the topic, because I feel like this is a very important topic to like round this whole out.
Yeah.
So knowing how League is with its with its circuit and how it runs the league and how how teams go about and competing in it and stuff like that. How do you guys feel competitively? How do you guys think this game's gonna turn out? Like not just in the aspect of being successful, but like as a whole, like whether it's gonna be ran through a league, if it's gonna be franchised. I hope it's probably. I don't know how franchising is gone for other games, but like it sounds like a good thing on paper, but I know a lot of people say it's a bad thing, or like if it's just gonna be ran as just a structurally. Like how do you guys think it's gonna turn out? It's
Does it-
competitively.
Now I know absolutely nothing about how League of Legends is handled competitively. This is
I
only
don't
this
know.
is
That's
only
that's
just
that's new to me. That's why.
I
This
used
is
to
all
follow the
just-
LCS a bit. I'm sure you did too.
Yeah, I
have.
used to. Like, I mean, they
Yeah.
just had like the NALCS and the EULCS, and
Yeah.
then like they've had like a whole shitload of different regions.
Mhm.
I would assume that the structure for competitive play would kind of be similar, like the Capcom Pro Tour.
I was
I
going
would
to say the
Tour.
same thing.
Any,
Like,
anything regarding that, I think it
Mhm.
will work similarly to that.
they'll just
I
go
was
along
gonna-
and set up with them. Just do
Yeah.
we're League and also Project L.
Especially since it's not like a team-based game, or
Yeah.
like, and they have like, I guess I wouldn't say multiple. I
They
think
could.
it'll just work like the Capcom Pro
They could just
Tour,
be getting
where like they accrue points over time, and then the top 8 goes into a playoff.
It's going to be an interesting meld of like potential league players finally dipping into the FGC
Yeah.
and vice versa. And
they're
trying to
going to get blown
Hopefully
the
for
fuck
the
out.
better.
Yes.
hopefully for the better. But
Yeah.
I'm also not worried
No.
too much because I know Riot has more than enough funding behind their back to
Absolutely.
Yeah.
handle not only the game's development but also how they handle the esports
Yeah.
area. Just as long as the players don't, let themselves get too out of control.
I don't know if anybody's been paying attention to the Twitter sphere after the Project L announcement, but there's been a couple of people in the fighting game community who are willing to drop their current game
Yeah.
of choice
Oh,
yeah.
to make that.
I would
sweet
say
Riot game
I would say me included.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
That's a game to me worth grinding because not only just it's like you got to understand like the perspective of just being told, look, your game is no longer like a poor man's sport. You can now possibly make some money. Like we're not talking about go and win and be the top at the top, which is not everyone. That's like a 1% or 2% at that.
Yeah.
That's like you sounding like Leffen complaining that we don't get paid more. Though that's true, you have to understand it's like where your games come from.
Yeah.
Now there's a game coming in to the community saying, look, it exists. You know how we run things over here? We'll let you guys figure it out. And like, let's be real, we kind of already pieced together. This will probably be the game where it will make things shake and it will make, at least at the bare minimum, make developers start paying attention to their games and want more for their games, especially for them
Yeah.
to grow.
Yeah.
Because League, not only competitively, but casually makes a fuckload of money.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Then you just think of the people who casually watch League, who don't even play the
Yeah.
game. That already gets them enough money, and that's just because they watch pro players.
Yeah.
And fighting games are very dedicated to their games. They're not just people who casually watch. They casually watch and follow and casually play all the time.
Yeah.
At least when you know someone's playing, you know they're watching. No one just follows. No one says, I play Dragon Ball. I would hope no one says, I play Dragon Ball and says, nah, I don't watch the tournaments. What would be the point of playing? Because you know you can't do everything in the game, so you watch other people who can. Because not only do you learn from it, it's just entertaining to see what people can think of and what people can do in the heat of the moment in times where you would think, oh, there's no way they can come back with like 1% life, and then they do.
Unless the commentators might have a personal bias on your character of choice, which I had to deal with recently when I was watching Central Fiction Top 8 at CEO. It wasn't Top 8, because the Top 8's commentators for Central Fiction were fucking great. It was the Top 48 that I had a problem with, because there was 2 Coggers in there, and all the commentators did was just dunk on Kagura the entire time. Even though both of those Kagura players were doing some very impressive stuff with the game. But every time he lost a round, trying to do quote unquote Kagura player shit. Like the commentators couldn't even like say, yeah, he played that whole round pretty damn good. There's just the whole time it was like, yeah, Kagura fucking sucks. I don't even know why these two people are dumb enough to play this character, and one of them even made it to top 8. Which is the funny part. So I was like, dude, stop dunking on my character.
Like,
Damn.
Commentate like a fucking person.
Yeah, exactly.
Do your job.
To kind of add to what Elijah was saying, though, I feel like there's also that weird niche of people that probably do play casual fighters, but only because, and this is a double-edged sword, which could work to or against the favor of the game's popularity, people who are just fans of that content. So you have people that are just strictly, I'm into Dragon Ball. I don't care about fighting games, but I'm into Dragon Ball.
Which is true.
So this is why I casually play this game.
Yeah.
Now for League, I feel like it's obviously going to lean more towards the Project L's favor because you have people that are just like, I like League, I like these characters, so I'm just going to play this. But I feel like people who play League are already inherently paying attention to the professionals already because I feel like it's almost like ingrained in the experience of the game, and I feel like that's going to carry over more in Project L's favor versus something like Dragon Ball FighterZ, where there is a healthy amount of people that are just like, I don't care about the FGC, I just really love Dragon Ball.
Which is true.
Yeah.
So,
And I think that's why Dragon Ball FighterZ has such a big, I guess, awakening, you call it, with it breaking the Evo record for 2018 for most amount of entrants, and then fucking year after that, Smash Ultimate just blows that shit out of the water by an extra 1,300 competitors.
That was because they finally took away the second Smash game.
Ooh, no mail.
That is the power of having recognizable characters in your video game. You're going to get a lot of people in there.
Yeah.
That too.
Without-
and that's why it's going to be great.
Yeah, without sounding controversial, let's be honest. Like with Melee and Smash 4 existing in the same like ecosystem, you have to understand like there's no way a game's gonna come out under the same developer that says everyone's here and gonna want that other game made from almost 15 years ago to stay still kicking around asking for cash, saying I'm still here, guys.
I mean,
we're just trying to have fun, guys.
It was like the top 15 Melee players would probably still win Melee at Evo.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I still like watching Melee, but it's like you have to understand like how it exists.
But
it
doesn't deserve the grand stage.
Exactly.
I can only watch Hungrybox win Evo so many times.
It did. That's what it came down to.
Yeah.
But
I can only watch the same 3 Fox players play Fox so many years in a row.
and Levin is left.
So what is this, the 900th time that Fox said hiya?
Hiya.
Does anybody even know? So I just heard of Fox yesterday. So what's that little noise that said 50 people in a room respond? Hiya! So, okay.
Come on! So, fucking hoping to see, we're not going to, but hoping to see more info on Project L. I'm gonna say we're gonna get more info on it. I want to say Evo 2021.
Yeah.
That's my hard take. We're gonna get more
I'm sure.
detailed info about Project L when that comes around.
Till then, League of Legends, I'm looking at you.
Yep.
League.
Every now and then.
Yeah, every now and then. Although I was pleasantly surprised by Teamfight Tactics. So,
Underwood's better.
yeah.
Hot take.
Hold on, just give me a hot. So that's all we got for the news regarding FGC related stuff.
Mike, the mic's not on.
So that's all the news we have for FGC related.
Yes, thank you for repeating that. I just tried to say that while the mic was muted. Now I feel like a fucking idiot.
I got you, Brandon.
The first time for everything.
Yeah, of course.
This is
First
the
try.
This is the first episode. It's gonna be the worst episode.
I had a botched intro and we had a fucking retake.
What?
and
No, it was the first try, remember?
You're not supposed to
Now
tell
you
them
spoiled
that
it.
the first time.
Spoiler alert, ladies and gentlemen. So
So what are you playing, Brandon?
So currently, I'm always going to be interested in Smash Ultimate. That is my primary game 100%.
Yeah.
Captain Falcon is my number 1 right now, with Chrom being a very close second. I've been playing a lot of Falcon lately. Hit a nice 3-stock on a Lucas and online play, and
That's fun.
it's pretty good. I recently
That's easy.
I'm recently dug into Under Night. EXE late ST as
Just
well.
say
You had to say the whole
Eunice,
name.
yes.
Are you ready to say that with?
I
Are you ready to
say
say that
the-
with clear next time?
Oh no, I'm just saying unclear.
Yeah.
Fuck all that shit. But I picked up Nanase in that one. The reason why I picked up Nanase for that is just the.
Because she has Shadow the Hedgehog colors.
Well, I guess you could. I guess you could say. I guess you could say that. But no, seeing seeing her gameplay at top 8 for Evo this year got me really interested in the character.
I'm still surprised you haven't picked up Gordo. Like,
I just
felt
picked up Gordo, and I love Immortal Slide.
I felt like
man.
Gordo would be your guy. I'm surprised. Like, as soon as I saw you pick Nanase, I was like, excuse me?
What you do?
It was like when we first played Smash together, and like I saw you pick Falcon. I was like, I honestly felt like you were a Captain Falcon main.
Well,
And you're just like, well, he's one of my characters, but we Falco in this household.
I like
yeah.
your calm, dude.
I unfortunately dropped Falco from my team, although he has a special place in my heart. I'll always love the cocky fucking bird of Team Star Fox.
As you should.
Yep. And then I recently also picked back up Cross Tag. I'm looking at you two because you guys hate that game with a passion.
Why would you
Hold
do?
on.
Why would you go back to Cross Tag?
See,
when
I think
have
you
Central
slightly
Fiction?
won over
On your
Charles Hart because you
PlayStation.
didn't call it Blaze Blue first. You just said Cross Tag.
Yeah, no, we don't call it Blaze Blue Cross Tag. though.
Blaze
We
Blue?
call it.
Oh,
we
you're
call
talking
it
about
Cross-
CF.
There's no
BB Tag at most.
there's no hatred here for cross tag.
Is it
It's just-
disappointment?
Oh,
It's
for
just
me,
when I-
it is.
when I see-
100% vitriol. I spit
See,
it.
let me just paint a small little situation right here. When I approach someone playing, and I see Ragna on screen, and then I look at the health bar, and then I see the health bar, and I see Jin right under Ragna. I'm like, oh, you're just a shell of your former self. That's how I feel about cross tag in a nutshell. It's not that I hate the game. It's just so much potential.
I'm the type of person where, like, if I meet you for the first time and they shake your hand and you tell me you play cross tag, I'm going to the bathroom immediately washing that shit.
I'm just like, oh, so you too like Coke that's been watered down by ice.
So did you do that with me?
Well, no, because I
You
picked
say
you before
ultimate.
cross tag came out.
Yeah.
I will be
Was it?
fair.
No.
I only play Cross Tag because of the Ruby characters.
See,
that is
that-
the only thing.
That is the
got
only
me
reason why
into it.
most people are
So-
playing
That's why I
cross
would've bought
tag.
it.
Guilty as charged. That's the reason why I bought Cross
Yeah.
Tag.
And I wouldn't hold that against you.
Yeah.
That's
So
a good
like
reason
after-
why that
I feel like Ruby fans deserve a better fighting
I
game.
just was I was in love once I seen Yang, and then when I was told, because I didn't see or hear or play anything at EVO when it was there, I just looked at people playing it and I said, it looks interesting. And then when I seen in the trailer and I seen Ruby was in it, the first thing I asked was, where's Yang? And when I seen someone who said, oh yeah, I actually heard of gameplay with Yang, and she has armor on her 5B. I didn't even know what that move was. And when I seen what move it was, instantly I was like, yeah, okay, I'll kind of like the game.
Now my question is to, I don't know, I assume Jalen, you are the Ruby fans?
Yeah.
I'm not a Ruby fan. Don't
Yeah.
lump me into
Okay,
that.
well, okay, that's
Look,
why I asked.
I stopped watching Ruby halfway through book 3.
Hold on. Well, that's why I asked. My question is, how do you guys feel knowing that the cross tag game makes the characters look better than the show?
Ooh.
Oh.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
you didn't
not
have... Look, Charles, if
I
you
feel
wanted
like
to
the
go
only-
ahead and stab me, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's plenty of knives
Yeah,
that we
yeah,
could
yeah.
find for you.
We can
I
find
mean,
But
I'll go
besides that-
as far as to say that I
Shout
don't
out
even
to
like
Nice.
the sprite work done on the Ruby characters, except for Weiss. Weiss's sprite work is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Everybody else, I can't really put my finger on it, but something about them looks really off.
I agree.
Like, just looking at Yang in her idle pose, it's like, there's just something that's like, ew, I don't like looking at this. It's like,
I don't wanna see
Yang,
that.
when I watched Ruby, Yang was my favorite character.
Yang is always my favorite.
So, like, the fact that, like, there's something about her that I don't like how she looks in cross tag that's bothering the shit out of me is like,
It's because you're too stuck to the PS2 aesthetic.
Oh my god. We
I
get
wish
it.
that-
It's bad
It's-
CGI.
I think it's her legs. It's
It
like,
is
the-
definitely no. It is 100% her legs. That is my entire argument of how her sprite looks. I
Okay,
do
cool.
not
I'm,
like
glad,
her
I'm
legs.
glad I'm not the only one. There's just something about her legs that bothers the
You,
shit
you,
out of
know
me.
what? You want to know why? I'm harping on this. Have you seen her new look in the new volume?
I don't think
I don't understand why, but they have these pants on her where there's zippers specifically at the thighs. You want to know what? Just just makes me it just boggles my mind when people go through character designs. There's 2 fucking zippers and buttons on both the front of the thigh and behind the thigh.
She wearing assless chaps?
Kinda, but let me finish.
All chaps are.
I need to look this up.
On the left thigh, I think it's the left thigh, the zipper is undone. It's still buttoned, but the right one is fastened. So you're looking at her pants thinking, why did they say, let's just unbutton slightly and unzip the left one for aesthetic and leave the other one in place?
Bruh, because it's anime, that's why.
But why?
No one needs symmetry.
I hate that. That's the only part I expect on symmetry, unless there is like a cloak or robe being worn.
Yeah.
If you're wearing certain type of pants, if there's not something of utility on your legs, them things should look fucking identical. You do not walk around with people wearing pants, and I know people do this,
Yeah,
where it looks completely where it looks 2 totally different legs, and you're like, why do you do this to yourself?
I mean, it's like Soul Bad Guy
WWE,
has
dude.
2 belts on each
Doesn't
leg.
it- no, I meant
those
there's
belts
2 belts.
serve 0 purpose.
2 belts is a
But
different story.
it's the fact that he
2
has
belts
belts
look
on both legs. That's like, it's fine.
It's
cool.
yes,
Two
it's
belts
weird.
look cool.
It's a clamp down those fucking thunder thighs of his.
Soul's got some thighs to it.
It's to hold in the bag.
Not to mention, he also has belts on his exposed biceps. But
There's been other characters in different games that are guilty of too many belts, so it's fine.
Yeah, true.
Belts.
Jalen, what are you currently playing right now, man?
well, I'm currently playing Indivisible, but that's not a fighting game.
It's a fighting game at heart.
Fighting games that I am currently playing, ever since I wouldn't embarrass myself playing you and Charlie in BlazBlue last weekend, I've been trying to grind that out some more. Still trying to figure out who else I want to play besides Kagura, because I can't just solo main him. I was trying to go back to pick up Lambda, but I don't think I'm going to stick with her. So, still trying to find stuff out. I might go back and re-pick up Lychee, because earlier this year I was grinding out some Lychee stuff, and it's like, Lychee's super cool.
Good
Like,
luck.
you,
Oh my
you,
God.
you tell me good luck, but her stuff actually isn't as hard to do as you would think it would.
It's
Like,
well,
it's relatively easy compared to like Carl and Relius. It's like, fuck playing those guys.
Relius, I don't think is as complicated. Carl's a very special case, but Lychee, I picked up Lychee in Chrono Phantasmatic Stand, and that was one of the most fun characters I've gotten to play as.
Lychee's a lot of fun.
My problem is the amount of changes they went through from Chrono Phantasmatic Stand to Central Fiction, and I think that's probably where I fell off.
That's fair.
The changes they made to Lychee in Central Fiction, I could probably get in the lab and grind it out a little bit more, but I guess I was too used to how fun like the pole game was.
Yeah, no, you're
As
you're
poor phrasing
absolutely
as that
right.
might be, the
I just thought
Lychee's
about it.
pole game in Chrono Phantasmatic Extend was much more fun to play with than Central Fiction.
Oh, yeah.
No, yeah, I absolutely understand where you're coming from. Because way back in the day when Calamity Trigger existed, I solo mained Tau Kaka. And around the beginning of Continuum Shift, I was still solo maining Tau Kaka, but I also decided to play Hosma before dropping Tau outright. And then, like, I tried to dick around with Tau recently again, just to go back to my roots, and I can't do current Tau. Like, she's just way different with how her drive functions now, to where it's like, I mean, I could do it if I put in the time, but I don't want to.
Look, all you need with Tau is just the 3-jump jab combo.
Bro, he's fucking doing this shit to me at work, right? He's just like,
All
fucking
you need
3
is-
jump cancels, just doing a fucking A combo. Dude.
Yeah, you just
Like,
need the 6A pop-up into the triple jump
That's
A.
classic, dude. You let him hit you with that?
Yes. I don't know how to block lows, dude. And then he just fucking knocks me up. It's just
No, well, see, look, that's precisely why I main Kagura, because he forces me to block low all the time, because I gotta charge for my special moves.
That's how you do it.
So I gotta learn how to block. But other than playing BlazBlue, I've also been trying to get back into playing some more units than Guilty Gear. If I haven't made it clear at any point in the podcast, I'm like mostly an anime guy. But more on that a little bit later. when we move on
I
to the
didn't
next-
notice this.
You're not an MK fan?
Yeah, no, get out of my face.
Whoa.
3.5 people like Mortal Kombat in here, alright?
Who's the half person?
Brandon's
Me.
a half.
He's-
I am only half of a person.
Because, like, I like the Mortal Kombat franchise, I just fell out of it fucking hard with MK11. I don't know what it was.
You're
it's
still
just-
a whole person, Brandon.
Yeah,
That's
but
the
like,
one that brought me back in.
He likes
MKX took me out. MK11 brought me back in.
Well,
Brandon likes to sprint.
yeah.
I mean, I don't.
He likes
I
to
don't
run
blame
in
him.
his fighting games.
I hated the sprint, dude. I hated that one. So.
I don't blame you. I mean, like I like the sprint too. Till I realized, hey, you know, this is crazy. I made this character named Sub-Zero because this was before Cyber Sub came out or came back out. I was just like, oh, I like playing as Sub-Zero. And then when I go to think, maybe I should this time throw a full screen ice ball and realize they can watch on reaction, run all the way in, see it launch from my hand, jump over and punish me every single time. Yeah, I don't like sprint.
Yeah, sprint's not fun. Sprint made me hate that game.
I unintentionally sprinted in that game.
Yeah, just trying to hop back on
Fuck,
the
I was trying to
anime
block
train.
blow and I just ran into him.
Yeah. This happens.
Good lord, where did that Ford come from? I was just trying to block.
A part of me has
Well,
also
not
kind
right,
of sort of
full
been
speed.
itching to go back to Street Fighter V, just because they added Lucia to the game
Yeah,
like
they did.
several months ago, which that is like the only Final Fight character I care about besides Carlos Miyamoto. Shoutouts to Final Fight 3. Nobody played that game because when they announced Lucia for Street Fighter V, everybody said who, and I'm just like, Final Fight continued after the first game, guys.
Like, let's
Come on.
Horton here's Horton here's a literally who.
Yeah,
That's what I was trying to go with. I fucking botched it.
That's hard to say.
And it's,
Yeah.
apparently she's looking like she's one of the best characters in the game, which, I mean, I guess I'm just cursed with wanting to play top tiers in Street Fighter, because I main Chun-Li forever, even after she got nerfed, and she's not top tier anymore. And I also dicked around with Karen a little bit, and she's still really good. And I tried to get into Cammy, and she is also
Yes,
really
yeah.
good.
Fuck Cammy.
So it's like, I don't want people to
Same
think I'm a
thing,
tier
Cammy.
whore when it comes to Street
Not
Fighter.
fair.
Those were
Yeah,
just
same.
my favorite characters in Street
Like,
Fighter,
yeah.
straight up. And like they've all have been very good.
Yeah.
So God has blessed me with good characters in Street Fighter. Kind of wish my characters in my anime games were consistently good, but Arc System Works has made it apparent that they don't like me existing.
Not a fan.
Ian, what about you?
I am currently playing MK11, and I'm playing Shang Tsung, playing that mad sorcerer.
Yeah.
I hope I want
The
to get
mad
better.
lad.
The mad lad. They nerfed his damage on the fireballs. Still mad about that. Still mad. Also, I've been playing Power Rangers Battle for the Grid.
Oh, that game
Here
is
he
so
goes.
fun.
That game is so
That game
goddamn
is-
fun.
That game is so
If you're
fun.
not
He
playing
told
Power
me-
Rangers, you need to be playing Power Rangers right now.
He basically told me he was going to make this shit a commercial for Power Rangers. Power Rangers on the way,
Power
he
Rangers,
told me.
Power for the Grid.
Sponsored content, dude?
Yeah, Jay Wong.
First episode,
Jay
man.
Wong, if you're listening, you worked on that game apparently.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's
crazy.
it's great. It's super
Him,
grimy.
him and Clockwork. Clockwork is like one of the main devs on it.
Yeah.
It's kind of
I know Clockwork also had a hand in Infinite.
yeah.
It's real grimy. You
Functions,
get needy
dude.
fucking
Just functions.
Look,
Every
bro,
assist is broken.
they were trying their hardest to try to tell you guys, look, X-Men characters aren't coming out. Marvel has us by our throats. They really want to tell me to tell you guys that you guys don't care about Magneto. Y'all just care about his flight.
He's getting over. It's an eight-way dash,
you,
dude.
you know that meme of like, you know, some subject matter and like some person looking at it and the other thing going completely over the head. I feel like that's what that
The
was.
boost?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like everybody's getting mad at Combo Feed for calling all of their favorite characters functions, and Combo Feed is like, I am really trying super hard to tell you
Oh,
guys
that's right. It was Combo Feed.
They
do
I was
not-
confusing Clockwork with
that
Combo
Marvel does not want us talking about X-Men. Damn it!
Yeah, exactly. They didn't own them yet at the time. So, and I don't even think even if they did, they were gonna put them in there because, like, let's be real. I don't think any stretch of the imagination needs to tell you that they're probably not going to be in MCU anytime soon until that movie that they finally announced comes out. And by that time, I don't even know if there's going to be a Marvel 4. I would hope there's a Marvel 4. But
I want Capcom to make their own crossover with their own characters because
Yeah.
I hate
Capcom
the fact that
versus-
Capcom has so many cool characters that don't do anything. I just want to see those characters back.
Amingo.
I mean, to be honest,
Where's
I'm not even asking for Amingo. I just want
I
to see
want-
a Power Stone
I
character.
want Amingo.
I'm going real deep.
I
in that
want
rabbit hole.
Dark Stalker characters back. I want Dark Stalker. I want to
Is
play
it Pharaoh?
Pharaoh.
I want a new Darkstalkers game over Marvel.
Yeah, I agree.
I want a lot of things over Marvel. I'm tired of
I
watching
disagree.
you Captain America.
I want another Marvel game.
He's like, this is why I play Power for the Grid. I need another one.
Yeah, because that's why I'm playing Power for the Grid.
There's like fucking 10 Marvel games. Like,
Yeah,
you're
but none
good.
of them are good.
None of them are good.
No, Power for the Grid is up
I
there.
think someone bellowing in the distance is telling you,
None
fighters still exist. I know they're Dragon Ball characters,
TV
but there's 3 of
fighters.
them on the team.
I can't air dash, dude.
Fighters doesn't even scratch the itch.
Oh no, I know.
No, it does not.
Ultimate
scratch it.
Marvel not existing.
Does not.
I would rather play Ultimate Marvel over Fighters any day of the week.
Any day of the week. He's not wrong. I want Ultimate Marvel 2. Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 2. I want the sequel.
Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 2.
Yeah.
Electric Boogaloo.
Electric Boogaloo.
Infinite.
Infinite.
Yikes.
Yes.
E.
That's all, I just,
And in a small text under it with X-Men characters.
yeah. Just give me Doom.
Featuring
I
extra
don't
from
need-
the X-Men series.
Yeah.
But the crazy part is, I don't even think the X-Men characters would have made people like Infinite more. But
I think-
that is a hot take we can talk about a
I
little
think
bit
it
later.
probably would, but yeah, we could talk about that later. I think it would have, but
Other than those two, I'm playing Smash Snake.
Smash Snake.
Smash Snake.
Oh shit, I forgot to mention I'm also playing Smash 2.
Yeah.
The Incineroar gang, where you at?
So-
It's lonely in here.
There's this character, there's Whale Poo, and then there's Incineroar.
Look, Incineroar has been a solid low mid-tier character for the entire lifetime of this
I
game.
forgot about
He
that
is
meme.
not that bad. Thank you
Shark
very
Tale.
much.
Are you good? Are you upset?
I'm not upset.
You-
look a little
The only
upset.
reason why people think he sucks is because ain't nobody been in tournaments with him except for like one guy, and he's been holding it down.
That's probably because he sucks.
Well, I mean, people are trying really hard to think that Banjo-Kazooie's good, and I think they're terrible.
Banjo-Kazooie is good if you're playing Keep Away.
Yeah, all they have is fucking Wonder Wing.
Oh my god, there's a
You
fucking
have to-
match I was playing against this
Chips.
Banjo and Kazooie. Every time, go to the edge of the stage, fucking Gatling Egg. Every fucking time. Like,
It's great.
and I wasn't playing fucking Crom, so I couldn't do anything. I'm just sitting here as Captain Falcon, pulling my putt on the fucking side of the other side of the stage.
Yo, you want to know what
What's
beats?
he doing? Like,
You want to know what beats Wonder Wing?
what?
A Alolan Whip. I just
Huh?
grab him out of that shit.
Well, I mean, same thing with Ganon's fucking
C4.
Warlock grab. C4, yeah.
C4.
Explode that fucking bird out of existence, dude. There.
That is a matchup that's in my favor. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Charlie, what about you?
So, I mean, playing, we're going to use that term lightly.
Charlie's playing
Charlie-
Devil May Cry
Yeah.
5.
he's playing the only fighting game.
That's
That
But he mains Dante.
Yeah. Charlie doesn't
Solo
play
mains
fighting
Dante.
games. Charlie doesn't play fighting games and then gets out of pools at Evo. That's what happens.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
not even on this podcast. I'm just going to So, yeah, DMC5, not sort of a fighting game, but no. The fighting games that I have played lightly, recently I picked up Rev 2 for Guilty Gear.
Good shit.
Blaze Blue, obviously, you know, I feel like, again, I play Ragna for that, so that's like a bike that I'm never not going to forget. Or it's a bike that I'm never going to forget how to ride, essentially. Ragna just plays that way.
Yeah.
MK and Injustice are the two games I were super into years ago, but I just haven't scratched that itch in a long time. But for those games, I mained Batman and Frost. But yeah, Smash as well, obviously. And
Wolf.
the Wolf Gang, dude.
The good boy.
The Wolf Pack.
Wolfpack.
Yeah, I mean him. I honestly had to like struggle with who else I'd even consider an alternate for Smash for me, because I've been, at least especially lately, because I've just been dabbling. But because in Smash 4 I played Charizard, but that's because they took Wolf out and
Yeah.
they finally made Charizard his own character. Rest in peace, Rock Smash.
Yeah. Rock Smash was crazy.
Yeah.
That damage was
Why did
stupid.
they have to keep Flare Blitz?
Because they took away his glide.
That's fair.
Respect.
But yeah, as far as other mains I'm trying to think of,
I feel you on trying to find another character to
Sub-Zero.
play in Smash, dude.
I don't know. Yeah, just Wolf is too much fun for me.
Yeah.
Especially because I played him nonstop in Brawl, and that's kind of how I even got remotely decent with him. Other than that, I actually did try to main Snake for a good while.
Yeah, yeah.
And,
I remember that.
Rest in peace, Snake Slide, dude.
Yeah, Snake Slide. I do miss
And yeah, Sans, I guess if you want to call him.
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone says. To this day, he is a character. He's not an Echo Fighter.
Yeah, he's not an Echo Fighter. He's
He's
just
not.
a me gunner.
He's a me gunner.
Me Gunner? Are you guys talking about Sans?
Yeah.
Damn, imagine having your identity stolen by a costume.
Oh my god.
Not wrong.
And I didn't see anybody call it me Brawler K-Roll in Smash 4.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
eventually, Wolf might have to take a back seat, when the boy eventually gets announced for Smash.
And Fighters Pass Season 2?
Yeah, praying.
Good,
The Devil in Red. The Devil in Red.
I mean, Terry Bogard comes out next month. You don't have to wait that long.
He isn't red.
Terry's definitely in red, but he's no devil. I'm sorry.
He's
dude.
not a devil. He's the legendary Hungry Wolf. Come on now.
I already play a Hungry Wolf. We've got that covered.
Well, you can be a hungrier wolf who is also legendary.
Now, the biggest question is, do you think they could give Wolf a Terry Bogard skin?
Give him a hat.
Yeah, just give him
If they just
like
gave him
the
a
jacket.
hat.
Yeah, just get Fatal Furry hat, dude.
Fatal Furry!
Yo, one of Terry's
And just like that, guys, the pocket. I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
yeah, good place, good place. Yeah.
one of Terry's color alts needs to have like the Star Wolf logo on the back of his jacket.
I would take that. I might play Terry.
They,
Just for that.
they better give him fucking different logos on his back.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Like, yeah, they can do a bunch of different
They're not going to, but that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Oh, and I forgot. I can't believe I fucking forgot. Under Night. I've been playing Under Night. I need to jump in the lab a little bit more, but without saying Yuzu's the girl.
Yeah.
That's surprisingly, I'm not playing Seth. I'm not playing Hyde because I normally suffer to poster boy syndrome. But
Yeah.
Yuzu's aesthetic and her playstyle just feel good. in the
And
play.
it also helps that like Hyde looks like a fucking loser. So I'm glad you're not sticking with poster boy
Hyde-
syndrome for Eunice.
Hyde looks like the little brother to you and Ragnar who just stole one of their swords out of the closet and just thought, I'm a fighting game character now.
I'm a fighter.
It's like I felt like French Fred tried a little too hard to make him a cool anime protagonist because his design just doesn't do it.
Oh, it wasn't enough for you just because he has a sword and it uses blood, and he has classic.
And his
Like
dual,
I don't want to stretch the imagination, but let's be honest, his hair is kind of like Yugi's hair.
yeah, it's like
He has the full.
it's the dual colored
He's
spiky.
Exactly.
hair.
The
I-
It takes
protagonist.
me out.
I
Completely.
think what gets to me is the fucking dress shoes that he's wearing on his costume.
Oh, but you gotta show up to the fighting class.
It's not even that. It's the fact. I think another thing that I hated about his design was the fact that he has like. So everybody remembers Hey Arnold, right?
Yeah, of course.
You know Arnold had his long ass flannel underneath that sweater,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Hyde's shirt reminds me of Arnold's flannel. And it's like, oh
The
no.
length. The length. I know what you're talking about. It's the length.
It's
Oh
so
my
long.
God.
The most over exaggerated. It's like they said, is there any way we can just impulse like hype beast culture into hype? Make his shirt long. I don't know why you thought of that as the first option, but sure, in the
You
game.
got a long fucking shirt.
Is there a purpose for the shirt being long? No. Cool, we'll put it in.
He just likes it. He likes it real long.
Long shirt gang, rise up.
Long shirt game.
I just kind of want to have a stage with just a Hey Arnold theme in the background, just fighting the trumpet.
Oh my
The Under Night aesthetic.
I'm happy you did that because that's been in my head. When he said, "Hey Arnold," that's all that was playing. I was just hoping for an opportunity.
Just Helga in the background doing this.
Yeah. Moving football.
Oh my god. Elijah, what about you, man?
What you playing?
So,
Everything.
Yeah, literally.
good
Yeah.
lord. Yeah, everything would be. I would say that does it justice. It used to be an understatement, but now it's like I play whatever I can get my hands on. The games I'm focused on are like obviously MK. I don't know for how long. I'm not really like in love with the game as I thought I was gonna be. Hopefully Sindel changes that. I don't know if she will. Other games that I'm starting to become more focused in is like Tekken, hopefully Eunice. I don't know how I'm gonna shape around Eunice. I haven't been labbing it much because Nuclear comes out next year.
Yeah.
Every other fighting game that's coming out next year.
You got
So-
you have 3 fighters coming out in
At the-
2020.
Yeah, especially at the beginning of the year,
Yeah.
like the curve.
And
it just-
all 3 of them have Arc System works.
Exactly.
I don't know when to jump into Eunice or any of those other anime fighters. Like I don't know when's the good time.
So just do it right now.
Yeah, you might as well do it now.
There's a lot of people who are jumping into Rev 2 right now.
Yeah, they got a good track record of legacy. So it's like some balance of the characters will still, like in semblance at least, will be there.
Dude, the trailers that they were showing for the characters for Guilty Gear 2020 are doing combos that they had in X-Ray.
Really?
So it's like, yeah. And so like, and even like with Charles, when he was coming back up, like back into it, and he picked up Rev 2, like what you call it, Soul still has his dust lips. So like, if that tells you anything from like pre-excerpt to now, he still is relatively the same character, just obviously more balanced or more corrected in things that they wanted him or envisioned him to. It's the natural curve of how a fighting game goes, but Arc Sys has their twists because like games like Tekken, they have their legacy things that they want you to still remember and come back to the game for.
Yep.
So yeah, and then I kind of pseudo picked up Rev 2 backup because initially how I got into it, I didn't even really play any games like any Guilty Gears prior to Rev 2. It was watching Rev 2 and then watching like just Dizzy play, and then when Rev 2 came out and the demo came out, I said might as well. And they only had like I forgot what the other character it was Answer and Biken in the demo, and it was the only fighting game demo that ever in my entire mind that comes out with a training mode. So instantly I was like, okay, well I have a reason to like want to get into this because they have a training mode for me to practice characters. They must really love me. So I was just practicing the dust loops that people were finding. I was just trying to find out different things you could do. And then by the time that the full update had came out, I was picking up Dizzy, but then I dropped the game. And then I just recently got back into it. So MK, Tekken, Guilty Gear, Eunice. So I started playing Eunice at the beginning of the year, and I was very into it, or I shouldn't say the beginning of the year. It was beginning of November of last year. Then MK11 got announced, and I forgot what Eunice was. So that tells you like how that was. And I was playing Hilda, like very just mained Hilda. That was like the only character I wanted to touch because I had played Eunice or Unio on accident on the PS3, and I was like, this character, she sits and mocks you as she does moves. I love it. Then I went back and I played her in Eunice, and I was like, I just love how she plays. And then I picked up Gordo, and God, sights are nice, guys. So, and then besides that, I haven't really been focused on any other games because I just play like whatever. But other than that, I would say Smash is like the only other game I'm kind of like off and on. I kind of play big bodies, so I don't like to land on stage. Okay. I love staying. Like you know how annoying it is to like play Bowser, and I love playing Bowser, and then not to land, and then the instant character I go back to, I'm like, I feel like playing King Dedede, and I go, I just chose King Dedede. That's crazy. I really don't like to land.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Like I like to say that, like
that?
Samus. I like to say Dark Samus is my main, but I really gravitate towards like those two characters, and I don't know why. Because I like play a lot of Dark Samus, but like besides Dark Samus, I really love playing Bowser, and I really love playing King Dedede. And I think it's just how they function as characters. Bowser is the standard big character aesthetic you find in normal fighting games, and then King Dedede is like the opposite. He's like, I just do other shit you wouldn't expect me to do.
Yeah.
He's got good
also, I'm a
projectiles.
balloon.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, and then with Samus, I just like projectiles. If that's not already clear to everyone in this room.
Yeah, I picked it up. It's after like I had an inkling when you were talking about Dizzy for a little bit.
Yeah.
Then you talked about Metara and Grand Blue.
Yeah, it's like
then you brought up
Hilda.
then you brought up Hilda, and I was like, okay, this guy just doesn't want me to approach him.
it's great. And this is what makes it even funnier because like one of my friends, like when we were picking it up, he was playing why is it? I'm drawing a blank on his name. Waldstein. And he hates that matchup. If it would have any correlation, he does not like fighting Hilda. He says it's alright, but I know he doesn't think it's alright when I can just see him move an inch and hit him. And this is at full screen.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, I kind of gravitate towards characters with projectiles. And so, yeah, I would say I mess around with a lot of different characters in Smash, but those are like the 3 that I play when I'm like off and on playing. I don't play it enough to where I feel like I could consider myself a decent, competent player, but I say I know stuff because I do know some things about the game, just not enough to be like playing it consecutively every day and then loving it, because I have like so many other games that I do that with. So
Yeah.
but that's mainly what I've been on. Obviously MK, because it is the up and coming game right now, right alongside like Ultimate and I guess you would want to say Tekken, because Tekken's now growing. Those are like kind of the 3 that are like kind of running the long stretch at the moment.
Yeah.
We'll see in the future for MK, but
Yeah,
where
we'll
it stands, for where it stands now, that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah.
They need to do something to keep it interesting.
Oh, we're getting a tag system, but no, we're getting a new tower boss system.
Woo! Towers of Time.
All right, woo! Who doesn't like augments?
I love them, dude.
You're saying
Augments.
you're saying you're fighting a character who's not only reading your inputs but knows everything you're gonna do. Do you like to do that when heads are falling out of the sky, or when the ground becomes unblockable
It's so
fire?
Rest in peace, Test Your Luck.
I miss Test Your Luck so much, dude. Headless combat? Headless combat was great, dude. Every hide just misses. It's fantastic.
I forgot that was a thing.
So great.
Oh, I forgot
Headless
that was a
combat.
thing.
You just lose part of your fucking hitbox. Alright?
Well, we have a very diverse group of people here when it comes to fighting games. Pretty much have the entire spectrum covered almost, with probably like the exception of like Sam Show. And
I dabble.
you dabble with it?
I think we all
dabbled.
dabbled. It's that, yeah.
The moment it gets on PC, that's probably the fighting game I want to just sit down and main actually. I don't have easy access to PlayStation right now, but if I did, that would probably be my fighting game.
I
it was only
definitely feel
PS4.
like if we had a person of Hispanic descent in here, he would definitely be the SNK guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Hitting that stereotype hard.
He'd be talking
Look,
about
man, it ain't a
King of
stereotype when it's
Fighters.
the truth.
I
He'd be
mean,
talking about King of Fighters right now.
No, it's SNK
Yeah.
in general.
Yeah, all that shit. Yeah.
Like, let's be real. If you like SNK to any extent, because I like KOF. KOF was like my gateway into knowing what SNK was. And when and then once I found out other characters, because like growing up, I didn't know a lot about fighting games, but I knew like 2 things. I really had aesthetic for like ice characters, and I really had an aesthetic for like very, I don't want to say like gory, but like very heavily violent towards, and that's what gravitated me towards MK in the first place. Because I was like, that's like the perfect game to be like, if you want to see like high end like violence for no reason, it has it. You don't always see it, but it has it. Like you don't need to see a fatality to know that game has fatalities. Because just by how the game is structured, you know how it's gonna go.
yeah.
So, and then like with the ice aesthetic, my favorite character in like all of SNK is Kula. I love her so much.
Queen, dude.
I swear,
Queen.
when they say Ice Queen, they don't talk about random girls. They're talking about
How about Kula?
that is the Ice
She is
Queen.
the Ice Queen. She
And that's
skates, dude. That's great.
That's the aesthetic that made me
coolest
love her
shit.
the most. I said every ice character I've ever seen in every fighting game, they don't like use movement with their eyes. The first thing I see her do is skate across the screen towards you.
It's real cool.
Sold.
She's in DOA 6, dude.
I know.
It's great.
And it's funny that you just said that. I literally just like downloaded the game and only bought her just so I can play her again.
It's fun, dude.
That's
You got on
dedication.
PC?
First thing I did,
Oh, dedication.
I backed up full screen just to skate across. I said, I love it. They put it in this game. I love it.
Yeah.
Man, Dead or Alive could put Bullet from Blaze Blue in that game, and I still wouldn't play
Oh.
Dead or Alive.
I mean, I don't blame you. The mechanics are kind of weird, but like,
Yeah.
to me,
That rock, paper, scissors, dude.
yeah.
That's all it's about.
So, hopefully Isaiah will be able to join us on the next episode. This is going to be a bi-weekly podcast. I'm going to try to record them either Saturday or Sunday, and then have the episodes released on either Tuesday or Wednesday. I have not decided on how lazy I'm going to be in cutting down the audio and all that. But look for the episodes to be coming out Tuesday to Wednesdays.
Where can we find the episodes of the podcast?
Yeah.
You can find the episodes on SoundCloud. You just gotta type in Hard Reads FGC Podcast and it will show up there. Eventually what I would like to do is I have a Twitch page created already for our podcast. And what I would like to do, like every quarter, everyone selects a game. And this is not Roulette Royale. I'm just gonna throw that out there right now. But every quarter, it's still. What we will explain that idea in another episode. But what I would like to do is kind of have each quarter, everyone picks a game, kind of do like a King of the Hill kind of thing, and then whoever has the most points out of each game, they just won like it's like $5-10 or something.
We'll make a thing.
Yeah, and just fucking win a nice $50 pot.
Yeah,
$60.
that'd be fun.
So
blow up each other.
yeah, blow each other up,
Blow
dude.
each other up. Told you I'm working on a talking thing.
Blow up each other.
Blow up each other, dude. That's how it works.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. This is
It's great.
the longest episode. Hopefully, we are coming up at about almost 2 hours. I want to say hour 45 minutes at this point.
Bro, Castle Super used to be running for like 4 hours
Yeah,
sometimes.
Yeah.
I think when people listen to a podcast, they kind of expect to be there for a while.
Yeah.
This is normal time, generally.
Yeah.
Yeah, around an hour, 30 minutes.
Yeah,
Usually.
hour average, hour plus.
Yeah.
It was nice.
But it was nice. We got a lot of input on a lot of things. We went heavy into Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, which got a lot of
That was
info
fun.
out of Jalen and Elijah. I learned a lot about the game and it got me more interested. Talked about the Guilty Gear 2020 demo. With the Arc Revo North American Tour. That is, I said the November 16th, right?
Yeah,
It's going to be that weekend. It's actually at University of California, Irvine.
So does anybody want to try it out there?
No.
I mean, I'll drive.
It's that is intriguing because there actually is no venue fee. We could get in there for free.
You're kidding?
What?
No.
That's why I brought it up.
Yes, you can.
So
No one
there
is
is
going to
no-
stop me from getting my hands on Guilty Gear 2020
Look,
unless I don't have
I'm
any
really
money.
curious if Soul has this installed. I really
Yeah,
kind of
so-
I'm
No,
not trying to watch
Oh, shit.
phone footage on YouTube.
right.
I want to play the game.
I'm tired of seeing Twitter clips and asking people stuff, and they go, "Yeah, it's cool," and you're like, "That's not what I asked. I
Yeah,
clearly
exactly.
asked what this character does."
Yeah, no, there is no venue fee to watch. It is obviously the North American Finals, so you'll see the best Central Fiction, Cross Tag, and Guilty Gear Rev 2 players
Wow,
in the world competing, and for fucking free. Sounds like a good time to me.
that'd be fun.
We went in depth about Project L, and what
High
we would
hopes.
like to see
As deep
out of
enough
it.
in the
High
project.
Yeah,
hopes.
as
Yeah.
deep enough in the project that we could get, and then you got to know a little bit about us with our fighting game backgrounds,
Yeah.
and all that. So, thank you guys for listening. I hope
Maybe
you guys
next week?
joined. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, no, we're
Oh,
gonna
not
do,
next week.
yeah.
Sorry, next 2 weeks.
yeah,
next
we're gonna-
probably
Next
learn-
time.
yeah next time
on
on the Heart Reads podcast. on Dragon Ball Z.
On hard reads.
Yeah.
Hard
Next
reads
week we
FGC
talk about this.
podcast. Yeah.
This
Talk about one of us play Sam show.
well, one of us plays Sam's show.
Find out.
Will we
Will
take
more
up
of
King
us
of
play other
Fighters?
characters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tune in next week for Ian plays Samurai.
Yeah. Ian, Samurai Showdown.
But again, guys, thank you for listening. We hope you have a good night, and then we will see you next time.
Yeah.